because I'm too busy not struggling, but exhausting myself through Last of Us. I feel like I've climbed a emotional mountain.
Yeah.
And a physical mountain.
A physical mountain.
Yo, honestly, the more I went through it, I was like, these awards are starting to really make sense. More sense.
Yeah, I have a little something about that through one of my teachers, which was kind of weird. But I had one of my teachers tell me about how, you know how they ended up winning best game direction?
Best everything?
Well, they got best game direction. And, like, one of my teachers was talking about it, and he said he had a few friends working in the game already, like good colleagues of his, already working in the game and all that stuff. And he said that even all of that, even putting the fact that he has friends in there aside, he still doesn't think that they should have won that specific award.
Who the fuck does he think should have won?
The reason being, he didn't say who would have won, but he said that The Last of Us shouldn't have won it due to the fact that the description for that award was best direction as like having already a direction with the story, having a direction with the planning, the producers actually making full like use of all of their employees to do what they needed to do in a specific set time frame. And he said that knowing what he knows from the inside through his friends, he said that game went through at least 16 rush codes. These rush codes were like 22 to 23 hour long days that coders have to sit there and sift through. This thing should not have been done, and this was after it went gold. So he said that in reality, this game should not have at all won this award due to the fact that the planning for the game, the production for the game, and the producers for the game did nothing when it came to time management. So he's like, to that.
All right.
I mean, I feel like it was more about Neil himself directing like the performers and like the performances they gave, so that like all those other people could build the game around it. Maybe that's just, you know, if Neil is specifically getting the word. But I can see where your teacher was coming from. If he knows insider deets about like what's going on, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing really that I got like perspective-wise from like classmates and teachers were like that game shouldn't have won that specific award.
There were a couple that were just like kind of sus as well. Like, what's it called? Community support. Like, No Man's Sky. No, community support. Ongoing game.
Yeah.
They got. It was No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
And like even the dude who was on the live like Zoom call looked surprised.
Was surprised, yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Like I don't think
didn't
anyone
either,
did. He didn't. Like, the guy that was in the fucking call that was like representing the game was like, wait,
Yeah.
what? Like,
I mean, best ongoing game, I get it because it's probably the longest it's been out with some sort of support being
Fortnite's
given.
been out longer, man.
Yeah,
Maybe
but-
Destiny 2's been out longer than Fortnite, I think, too.
No.
Yeah, I think
Has
so.
it? Oh, probably.
Destiny? Yeah, Destiny.
Destiny
Yeah.
2 has.
Oh.
The only one that hasn't has been Apex and Call
Yeah,
of Duty Warzone.
but I think No Man's Sky has been out before Destiny 2, though.
Yeah, but like it was shit when it came out.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like maybe it's one of those long, ongoing games that finally got some support, you know, type deal, and then they're starting to get out there. So it makes sense, but
I still feel like it should have gone to Fortnite or Apex, one of those two guys.
I would have preferred Apex.
Yeah. Action adventure was kind of weird too. I didn't think Last of Us deserved that one.
Nah, I honestly thought that it should have went to Doom, I think was on there. No, not Doom.
No, it was Valhalla, Tsushima, Ori, Fallen Order, and Spider-Man. And I was saying my personal choice was Miles Morales, but then I also was like, that was when I was before I finished Fallen Order, and like I was listening to a couple other podcasts, and then what they were saying, like, I really feel like Fallen Order should have won that because like it is amazing as like a like action adventure game, and like the puzzle solving, and that's great. The storytelling's great. Like there's not one thing that's bad about that game in my opinion, besides like the difficulty. But like even that is
Fallen Order. I think it's because Fallen Order wasn't fresh in people's minds anymore.
Yeah.
Fallen Order was out. When did it come out?
last year.
I thought it was like beginning of the year.
Beginning,
Like,
like
very-
Was
really,
it this
really
year?
early in
Yeah.
the year.
I mean, it had
Well,
to
it
be,
had to
right?
be either last year, December,
No,
or
it
this
could
year.
have just been one of those games that missed the deadline at the very end of the year.
Well, it would have missed the deadline only by December.
I think
though.
it was. I think it could have been
It came out holiday time. I'm pretty sure. Holiday or January, early January.
November 2019.
Yeah, so it
Oh.
probably just missed the deadline.
Yeah.
So
Because something told me, I was like, that feels like it was. I think it just wasn't in people's
headspace.
consciousness anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but-
Even when it came out, I mean, I feel like it got some praise, but I feel like it didn't live
yeah.
in the conversations long enough to have a super, like, imprint.
Yeah, I can't say much about it just because like I haven't played it yet.
It's great.
I saw Chris playing it, and I was like, all right, I really need to play this game. But
I got it
don't
for
know,
free, dude.
I
On
don't
my
know.
PC.
I gotta get hooked on that
It's awesome.
Xbox Live thing.
Oh yeah, Game Pass. What's it called? The other one that I don't know if it's actual controversy or if like it's more just memes, but content creator of the year, Valkyrie was getting like shit apparently,
Yeah,
and like people were saying it was rigged, and that it shouldn't have been her and shit like that. And like, there's a couple like Twitch streamers that like there's one that's his name's XQC, and I think he was a former OWL player, was like pro, and then kind of went back to Twitch streaming. And he's kind of a toxic person, just from like the clips that you watch from him. He's that's just kind of the aura that the dude gives off. But like people are saying it should have been him because like he puts out like quality content, like he puts out clippable stuff.
Right.
And they were even saying like Nick Merckx should have won or Tim, like, and it was kind of like stolen from him. But I don't know. I also found it weird too because like I saw the clip of her watching the stream because apparently they were the only ones that had to do pre-recorded I won messages. Everyone else was like in that live Zoom call,
Right.
and like they would just bring them in if they won. But like she was watching the Game Awards live, and then it showed her clip of her like accepting it, and she was like reacting to her accepting, and her roommates were walking. It was like really good moment and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like we were doing our live stream on Twitch. I looked at my follows and I was like seeing if like Tim was watching and Nick were watching. They were doing an ad with the NFL because they like watch the football games every Thursday and they get paid to like watch the streams with like an overlay
Right.
with like, oh, what do you think's gonna happen on this down and whatnot. And I was like, oh, so they're not even watching the Game Awards. They don't give a shit. I was like, I guess that's
They
why they
probably
had
knew
to
what the deal was.
yeah.
yeah.
But it's also like it's very strange. It's like if they knew they weren't going to win and they were just deciding to do this hashtag ad with the NFL, why the fuck would you make all the other people do the pre-recorded thing? Like, like
Right.
just announce the winner early to them so they know, and then they have them in like the live thing or whatever. Like I don't know. It was very odd that was the only one, and then there's some sort of, I guess, like, I don't know what the word is, like speculation, I guess, that it was rigged for her, but fucking she deserves it. She makes quality content.
Yeah, I mean,
And
she's
Why rig it for her? Like, what's like your end game? Like, I don't
Right,
understand
yeah.
why that would even be a thing.
why would you want to rig it for any one of those people? Because like
I
all
mean-
of them have done their own type of content, their own base content. It's all depends. Like
I mean, it brings eyes to her. It brings more eyes to her and what she does. And if you watched her acceptance video, she was wearing 100 Thieves merch, which is the org she's with.
oh yeah,
So it's like she's advertising her organization with her merch, and their merch is always expensive as fuck. It's almost like some type of Supreme brand, but a little bit different because it's a little less expensive, but it's still expensive as hell. So it's like it kind of. I can
But-
see
but
where the
what is-
speculation's
it-
coming
it
from.
What
makes
would the Game
bullshit.
Awards get out of that though?
Right.
Like what
They
would
could
be
have
there
some
and-
partnership with 100 Thieves. You never know. 100 Thieves could be sliding them some money, but like I don't think that's actually happening. I just see like where people are pulling the ifs and
Right.
thens.
I mean, if people wanted to pull ifs and buts out of anywhere, they could have just been like, oh well, how come all 4 of these or all 5 of these content creators were chosen when you have like Dude Perfect?
well, they're
that's
not
like-
content creators when it comes to video games.
And then when you that's what I'm saying. It's you have base content creators. Like you have like the top 3 when it comes to content creators. When it comes to video games, you have Corpse, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier. None of them were on there.
yeah, it's because they were last year, I would assume. But either way, it's
It's like
you
if-
could be
if
nominated
rotate-
multiple years in a
Cor-
row.
Correct.
But-
So it's like at least give it a chance. It means that they probably pick people who were like in the same category
Mm-hmm.
or at least in the same level of popularity or even content, so that way they can have a fair
Yeah.
match. You can't just say one is better than the other regardless.
Yeah, I feel like that whole thing, that whole voting for that is very sus as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the Twitch audience voted for her technically. Like if when we were watching the stream, it said like this is what Twitch thinks. They think it's 47% gonna be Valkyrie, and then all the others were whatever percentage. But it's like, so people already thought it was gonna be her. So it's like the votes went to her. She won it. Cool.
Right.
Congrats. Stop speculating bullshit.
Yeah.
She won. It's whatever, dude.
That's all it is.
Move on.
I mean, I can
Pretty
only
much.
I can only imagine like that happening. The same thing with Abby's voice actor. Forget her name just now.
Oh well, she fucking deserved it more than anyone else.
Correct, but how many people out there do you think are still saying the same shit of
Most
she wouldn't
people
have
If you
deserved it?
think that Abby didn't, or not Abby, if you think Laura Bailey did not deserve that award for her performance of Abby, then you're listening to the wrong podcast. Because
Right.
even the guy
Yo.
over here that killed her on purpose multiple times thinks she should have won.
Just twice.
Twice as multiple times, to be fair.
After fresh off it yesterday, the more you see, it's just like, yo, she put everything into this role,
yeah.
man. And,
Yeah.
and I'm still not even done. And what I've just seen was like,
Oh,
this
man.
is craziness.
Yeah. And we can get to that. We'll talk about what we've been playing this week.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can start the show from there, boys.
All right, beautiful. Let's do it.
No need for a theme song. That was
Yeah,
it.
fuck it.
Oh,
But,
jeez.
now you got to intro it.
All right.
Take a swig and then
Take a swig.
I don't know. Are you just drinking like straight alcohol from that?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That's
like
another
halfway
candle.
full.
There's just wax in there.
It's like
It's
halfway
just hot
full.
wax from the Route 66.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I do this every night. Just calmly
Nice.
drinking hot wax.
No, I do this only after finals. Anyway, so
I feel that. Take a breath of fresh air. Your finals are off your shoulders, man. You're
I
free.
know.
You're
I know.
free.
This should be a
Right.
celebratory
So
This
intro.
is-
I get to yell it out now to
This is a
all of
level
you guys
up.
out
You
there.
literally have leveled up.
So,
Grab your own balls and
all right, guys. So, do like
Intro.
me, level up players. Welcome to another
Players.
Yeah, level up players.
do it again.
What?
Do it.
Players.
Level up players. No.
No, you rolled into it. He was like, yeah, so level up players. Like, no.
No, and it's
Say
gamers.
that
We're
shit.
gamers.
we
all
I'm
are
right.
keeping all this
gamers.
in. Say that shit like you just finished your finals.
In the
Oh,
words of
fuck
many,
that,
a tough
then.
man. Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
say the rest of that
bitches.
joke. Level up, gamers. This is Save Before Quitting, and welcome to another episode 10. And
10.
I'm joined by,
I'm Chris.
And I'm Ant.
and we're all rejoicing that we did a all amazing stream.
Wait,
but
who
first of all,
who are you?
me?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't say who you are.
Yeah, that's right, Nico.
It's
I'm
it's
all
level
over the
10.
place
We
right
don't-
now.
We forgot our names.
Listen,
I'm all over the place right now.
Nico's cousin. We are still looking for you.
Yes. Yeah, I guess so.
Jesus.
All right,
Yeah.
if you want to first of all, if you want to contact us, is you can send us questions, suggestions, hate mail,
Don't
fan
do that.
mail, whatever it is, at our Gmail account at safebeforequitting@gmail.com.
Word.
All spelled out, right?
Yeah, all spelled out.
Or you can hit us up on our social media with safe letter B number 4 quitting.
That's
At
Insta, Twitter, Twitch,
Instagram, Twitch, YouTube,
Twitch.
all of those things. So yeah, what do we got after that?
Well,
really?
speaking of our email,
Oh yeah,
Well, we can talk about one thing first. We got to talk about Twitch. We did a
yeah,
stream.
yeah. We
we
did.
We did the stream of the Game Awards.
we,
Yeah,
did
that's
a
right.
we did a big boy stream.
Yeah. If you missed it, it's both live on Twitch for the next 60 days, because clips, that's how they work.
Yep.
And then it's also on YouTube. So
Yep.
if you miss the whole thing, you can go just straight over to YouTube and watch the whole thing, start to bottom.
See our in the moment reactions.
Yeah. In the moment reactions, the whole entire Game Awards. If you missed the Game Awards, if you want to see what we thought about it, it's all there. If you guys thought anything was particularly funny from the Game Awards stream. If you're watching through it again, or if you were at the stream, which we do thank the viewers we did have there, shoot us a comment on that video. Tell us to like make a little funny clip of that. We'll edit it up and put it on socials, and you know, we'll make little clips out of it for like the next couple weeks or so.
All over the place.
Yeah, should be fun.
It was a fun time, and you should have fun watching it.
Oh yeah,
That is, yeah.
too many shots. That liquor that you bought, whatever it was, it went down way too smooth, and then I was like way too mellow the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess it didn't have the right effect then.
No, I was just like out. I was just like, look, game's pretty, colors.
We got to
It
get you
was very
some
good.
angry liquor or something that like
Oh yeah,
rouse you
I
up.
need some angry liquor after
Some
playing
angry liquor.
Cyberpunk. God damn. But yeah,
Man.
so like you were saying with the email, sorry to
Oh,
cut
yeah,
you
yeah.
off.
No,
If you,
no, no.
do you want to read it? Or do you want me to read it? What do you
Oh, go
wanna
ahead.
read? I got you. I got
Shoot it.
I
Shoot
don't
it.
even have it on. I gotta pull it
So
up.
this is another question from a person who sent a question previously, correct?
Yeah, and he
And-
joined us on our Twitch.
On our Twitch.
You
yes.
were there. You were there.
We
All right, so
appreciate you.
our boy Kev sent us the question of, before I ask my question, based on content alone, Mortal Kombat should easily win fighting game of the year. So this question was sent to us the day after we recorded the podcast that went out on the Game Award day.
Yeah.
Luckily, you were correct. So
Yeah.
obviously, I think
And
we
you
were all,
had to be correct.
Yeah, had
we
to
were
be,
all
yeah.
pulling for that anyway. So we all win. No shots for that. With that out of the way, what are your thoughts on the Nintendo versus Smash Brothers and Splatoon communities and game companies shutting down live streams / tournaments? And keep up the good work, fellas. That one guy, Kev.
We appreciate you.
Yes, appreciate you very much. Kev just made a Twitch, didn't he?
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
Everybody
I saw that
follow
on his
that
Twitter.
one guy, Kev, on Twitch.
Yeah. He's doing like art over there, and what was the other thing? I can't remember.
I think he was playing some Among Us and
Nice.
doing some art.
Yeah.
So Kev's like some good content, man. He's a good dude.
So yeah, what do you guys think
And he
about
supports us, so you go support him.
Yes, that's the way this works. We're a big family of nerdy gamer people.
That's right. The NGPs.
That's gonna be a thing now. Like we're gonna have to make merch of that. The NGPs.
Somebody heard
That's what
this
y'all.
before we could
That's
make
what
the
y'all
merch.
are. You're the nerdy gamer
The
people.
nerdy gamer people.
What's up, nerdy gamer people?
Oh shit. That's cool.
That's actually a thing now. Like,
Yeah,
fuck.
I
that's,
know.
that's the thing.
I
God
know.
damn it. See, Kev, you making like catchphrases for us over here.
Exactly. You don't even know.
So yeah, like what do you guys think? Nintendo versus the Smash Bros. And Splatoon communities. They're shutting down live streams and tournaments.
I think that was ridiculous. I think Nintendo, I have a love-hate relationship with them because they're pretty much my favorite video game company.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Just because I'm a big fan of all their properties.
you're a
for the most
Mario
part.
boy.
I'm a Mario boy. I'm a Zelda boy. Smash Bros. Is my favorite video game
absolutely.
series of all time. Full on Nintendo, but sometimes their practices don't make any sense to me. Like, why would you shut down those tournaments? I feel like that's ass backwards.
Yeah,
They're pretty much praising you. They're keeping that shit alive. Like
Yeah.
they're supporting something you're not supporting anymore.
yeah.
I mean, y'all are supporting Smash Brothers, but y'all aren't supporting Melee, which is what they shut down. Mm-hmm. But like people, like I feel like those tournaments and those like they do the live streams of their tournaments and everything. That's further marketing your properties. Like,
Yeah.
why shut it down? Like, what do you gain from shutting it down?
So what exactly happened? Because not being a part of the Smash community as much as I play Smash when you guys bring your Switch over, or like we have a get together. But like I don't have a Switch, so I don't play Smash often. The last time I played was on DS. Like that's the one I played religiously. So I haven't played in a while. What's going on with these tournaments with Nintendo? They're just shutting them down flat out.
I'm trying to remember the exact whole story, just in case. Let me pull it up.
Pause.
All right, it was from an organization called the Big House SSB on Twitter. A major Smash Brothers tournament is canceling plans to move online amid the coronavirus pandemic following a legal order by Nintendo. The Big House, typically one of the year's biggest Smash competitions, announced yesterday as of when this article was written, that it's shutting down its early December event offering refunds. The Big House is heartbroken to share that we receive a cease and desist from Nintendo. And they wrote, "We are forced to comply with the order and cancel the Big House online." That's what happened. There's no like Nintendo objected to the organizers and said, where's it at? Nintendo appreciates the love and dedication the fighting game community has for the Smash Brothers series. We have partnered with numerous Smash Brothers tournaments in the past. Like pretty much, unfortunately, the upcoming Big House tournament announced plans to host an online tournament for Smash Bros. Melee that requires the use of illegally copied versions of the game in conjunction with a mod called Slippy during the online event. Okay. Nintendo therefore contacted the tournament organizers to ask them to stop. They refused, leaving Nintendo no choice but to step in and protect its intellectual property and brands. Nintendo cannot condone or allow any piracy of its intellectual property. Now, that
makes it a little bit more cloudy.
It does. It does make it more cloudy.
Like, it's not like a black and white story anymore. Like they just say, no, you're not allowed to do this. It's like there's some legality in this that kind of makes sense, but it sucks.
It sucks because the reason they used that software to do it is because there's no way, since it's Corona, they can't get together.
Yeah.
Right.
This software allowed them to play it online,
right,
and still hold the tournament.
See, the thing about that is like watching Nintendo. I know they don't have a great online presence when it comes to like playability online or connectivity like PSN or Xbox has.
It wouldn't matter anyway because you can't play Melee online.
Well, no, that's the thing. Now, Melee is totally different. Now, if you were to host a tournament, being the league itself, like the fighting league that was just hosting it, they should have opted to at least do a tournament on Nintendo's base, using or even requesting to have some sort of support for it. Because if they had done, hey, if we can get some sort of support, they could do it. It's not something that hasn't been done before. Because if you look at major league games like Overwatch,
yeah, but those are big, giant, major,
right? But I mean, we're talking about Nintendo. It's not like it's so little either.
No. I'm talking about the ones that was hosting it, the Big House.
Yeah, I feel like the order of operations of the way that it went down is the reason why the cease and desist happened. Because it's not like the promoters of the event were like, "Hey, can you like help us out with this?" Then
right, that's what I'm saying.
They didn't say that. They were like, no, we're doing the event.
Like
as far as what this article says.
If they had been, hey, Nintendo, this can be done this way, or you guys can give us a help with this. It's not something that Nintendo would not have actually thought about it, doing it, if there was enough of a gain for them to do it.
They also like humble bragged at the beginning of their statement too, where they were like, "We have partnered with numerous other tournaments."
Well, that's what I mean, because they have done that.
Well, if it also says that this is one of the biggest tournaments there are. If they've partnered with numerous tournaments, why have they not partnered with one of the biggest tournaments there is?
Because they have Smash and Evo, don't they? That's like the biggest.
Evo is like the biggest.
Yeah,
one.
But like they can partner with most. It's their like they said. It's
the
their
person saying
property.
that they've partnered with. That's Nintendo saying that.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're humble bragging. Like we've partnered with so many people.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well then why wouldn't you want to partner with
one
of the biggest ones?
Probably because Big House wasn't the one that was saying, "Hey, help us." They were more like, "Hey, we're doing this."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I get that.
It goes back to your original.
It feels
piece
like
of
it's the
it.
order of I mean, for this specific situation, I feel like the Big House, from what that's saying, kind of shot themselves in the foot. If that's actually the way it went down, if that's not the way it went down, which we're going off of what we're reading here,
right.
it just seems like it's a loss of opportunity on both ends. Because like you're losing ticket sales for the Big House, you're losing this competition that's going to
Promote
like thousands upon thousands of viewers, promoting a product, even though that it's not something that's still sold on shelves today. It's still like, okay, it's not sold on shelves. I can't go get Melee. What am I gonna do? Let me go get it on Switch. Or they'll go back and buy the old consoles. But it's still it always leads back to buying Nintendo products, whether it be from Nintendo or not Nintendo.
Right.
If you're playing Melee, you love Melee so much that you're gonna go buy a fucking Mario plushie because you love playing Mario or you love playing Yoshi. So you're gonna go buy their merch and you're gonna go do that. Like it all leads back to profit for both of them. It just seems like they're not doing it in the right way that benefits the both of them at
Yeah,
the moment, and they're just not communicating.
I think
Talk about the communication.
Yeah, I think it was a lack of communication on that. It's just like, because I remember back in the day when Game Freak was there was an app on the computer, it was an emulator where you can do PvP, and you can technically customize any one Pokemon the way you want it in any one retrospect to be able to play in a league. And they used to host tournaments. I don't remember the name of the app. If I do find it, I'll link it in the YouTube version of this level. But the thing is like Game Freak was against it for a long time. So any computer that had the app downloaded, it used to get killed off. Like Game Freak would just immediately kill off whatever connection there was to it. But it was so avid and so popular at one point that Game Freak ended up joining in. But it wasn't because Game Freak wanted to get a profit of it. It was more like they got so tired in ceasing this company for so long that the company was like, all right, we'll just partner up.
Yeah.
And then they made a small profit off of it. But the thing was, it was a Game Freak wasn't going to back down until they asked, because it is their product.
Yeah.
But can't Game Freak do things independent of Nintendo?
They can, and that's why they have done that. That's why the emulator was allowed to use for tournaments later on. But when you have something that's like Smash, it's Nintendo property.
And they follow, like, there's another paragraph to this. It says Nintendo, which is true. Nintendo had a complicated relationship with both the Smash community and the larger world of video games, largely because of its aggressive copyright enforcement. The company hasn't actually sold Melee or the GameCube for over a decade. In 2013, it ordered EVO, the world's largest fighting game tournament, to shut down a planned Melee event before quickly reversing its decision. So it's not a surprising move for the company, but its approach to copyright has hindered taking a long-running event online at a time when there's really no other option.
Yep, and that's the case of it all. Is you have a multi-million-dollar company looking at their products, going, "Well, we did all of that, and now somebody made it easier and put it out for everyone." So even though they're, like you said, even though they may not technically be getting a part of a sale, let's say on a thrift shop, when they're getting a GameCube being purchased or whatever, it is technically their product that they're like protecting in that space. So it's like, if you want to host an event, they have all of the technology and ability to be able to support it. Why not just ask them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
to be fair, it doesn't say it in this article, but we don't know that they didn't try to.
Correct. The thing
I feel
is
like
that
they
the way
had
it
to
wrote,
at some point,
yeah,
though.
they
Because,
had
like,
to at some
it's
point.
one of the biggest Melee tournaments. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of the biggest. They have to have at least at one point been like, "Hey, Nintendo, you want to like get in on this action?"
Yeah.
I don't
If
know,
it's one of the biggest ones.
now,
That's assuming.
The business part, I'm like, if I'm just putting myself in of the business's shoes, then yeah, you're illegally using my property,
Right.
well, my intellectual property over something that we don't see fit, and it goes against our copyright rules. Then yes, buy the book, sure,
Yeah.
cut that shit out. But then another part of me is like, then why? Like, Nintendo could have also swooped in and was like, hey, before we shut your shit down,
Do you
y'all
want to
do this?
Yeah.
Now,
right
they
way.
don't have to do that,
Yeah.
but
Right.
they could. Like, for instance, like Sega, like every year they have this this Sonic hacking
Oh yeah.
competition on. If you go on YouTube, you can look it up, and they take old Sonic games and like turn them into brand new games,
brand
pretty
new
much
games,
using the old engines, and that's how they made Sonic Mania that came out 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And because they found this huge community of people that was taking their old property and making it like better in
Something
some
better,
cases.
yeah.
And they took some of those people and they said, "Goes like, how about y'all come on board and help us make the next one?"
Oh yeah. I mean,
And that's what they did.
I mean, there's a lot of companies out there doing it, like Capcom. I don't know if you remember early, like last year or the year before, when I was starting school, I had mentioned to you that I was working on a 2D platform for my school, and literally I was searching for sprites due to the
Oh, yeah, I
fact that the
remember
sprite
this.
takes too long. And then I found out that Capcom took every single sprite from 2000, from their 2000 games and older, and made them completely DMCA free for people to use and do whatever they want with it.
That's dope.
So literally, I have all of the sprites for Mega Man all the way from 0 with Rockman straight to Mega Man X and XZ at my disposal to use. But that's
dope.
something that they have done on their own, because they want to see what the creative people out there do. Unfortunately, I still feel like Nintendo has that scare of 1985 when literally everything was just like every game that came out was copyrighting, Nintendo cartridges, and like games were coming out with unfortunately no ESRB ratings. If we know anything about Nintendo,
that was before the ESRB. ESRB didn't come till like 93.
Yeah, and Nintendo was one of the biggest pushers for it. They were the ones that started practicing it before any other company did.
See, and Nintendo, I guess they have the clout enough to be like, fuck off. Like, we're Nintendo.
Yeah.
But they don't say fuck off because they're family friendly.
That's right.
Yeah, but they're saying it in the office. They're saying it in the office. But they did it before. Like when people started making, because I feel like sometimes they see an idea that the fans made and it's like they either had a plan to do it or they probably saw it and was like, oh no, we can do that better.
Yep.
And then they do it.
Yeah.
Because I think I brought this up in another episode, but when they had Return
to Mario.
Return to the Metroid. The 3DS one.
3DS.
The Return to Samus. Before that came out, there was a game on PC that was fan made called Another Metroid 2 Remake. And everyone loved it because like, oh, this is the side scrolling 2D Metroid remake of this Game Boy game that we've been wanting.
Yep.
Nintendo shut that shit down with the quickness, and then the next year they had a version of that same game. I was like, were you already making that, or did you see them like, that's a good idea? I know they probably already making it.
They had to be.
Well, that's like you said. It's like it's such a gray area when it comes to copyright. Like Chris mentioned it a lot when we had the DMCA episode. There's so much gray area when it comes to the copyright, and it's all due to the giant mouse. The reason why we have this issue is because they made laws around copyrights that just make no sense. But the only thing is, it makes sense for a person who owns a independent idea or have some sort of ownership in like some weird way or connection to what that idea may be, and then they can just do whatever they want. Like you said, if Nintendo has the big hand to slap whoever it is that comes through with an idea of their own, even though they use assets from Nintendo, then they still have the right to be able to slap them and use their idea since it wasn't being coined.
Yeah.
Nintendo, it's about money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Nintendo to me is the Disney or Apple of the video game industry.
Oh yeah.
Because they operate as such.
Yeah.
The only thing close to them maybe is Sony, and I don't even think they come close to how strict Nintendo is.
Correct. No. I mean, I can even go down to like Square Enix and Squaresoft. Like right now, there's a game or a game developer that I'm eyeing. I follow him on Facebook. If I find the name again, I'll link it. But he's been actually making a 2D in a 3D world sprite game version of Legends of the Dragoon. And this is all his doing. So he's taken all of the assets that were actually live once in the PS1 version and just turned them all into 16-bit game characters. So they look like the old Final Fantasy VII, but he's done all of the art. The story's the same. The gameplay's the same.
32-bit.
32-bit, sorry.
Right.
So the game is the same. The system is the same. Even the battle combat and the transformation is completely the same. Even the story.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like he's now developing and pushing this on his own, and I still don't see Square Enix or Squaresoft coming along to slap him.
Because I don't think Square is even interested in that property anymore.
Yeah.
But even so, like if it is one of your properties and you see somebody doing it in relation to a lot of people saying, "Hey, we want this," Nintendo would be the type of person to take over that and be like, "Yeah, my gamers have been wanting that slap."
What was that? 97? I don't think they're like. That's the last time that was ever even thought about or spoken of. I don't see them. That's probably why. But that's why I said they might be the next, like Sony at least, might be the next thing close to Nintendo, but they're still way off. Like it took Sony so long to even playing cross-platform.
That is true.
And they didn't want to play ball. They're like, no, fuck that. Like you want to play a PlayStation game, play the best experience on a PlayStation console.
And then
they didn't want you to play with other consoles.
And then of course Fortnite and Apex happened, and they had to give up.
No, who did it? It was Fortnite.
Yeah,
Fortnite. They hit the switch and made it work, and then they had to shut it down real quick.
Yep.
And then they saw how much people loved it, and they
were
finally
like, well,
folded.
fuck it. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all about like being proactive about the situation, and none of these companies want to do that. Well, at least Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like they want to be proactive. They're just like, no, this is mine. Like, they don't want to share. They didn't watch Barney as a child because they were playing their Nintendo games.
They want to take their ball and go home.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like, if they were to just take the route of like being like, hey, let's make a partnership, let's do something with this, let's make it bigger than it already is, you'd lead to so much more profit. But they don't care about that because all they care about is short-term profit, and then that short-term profit in the long run just screws over that little company.
Pretty much.
And that melee competition isn't going to exist anymore.
Now my question would be like, my question would have been how much different would it be if they had told Nintendo, okay, we'll stop the melee competition, but we'll do Ultimate, and then see Nintendo's face on actually.
That was also in here, and it's.
I don't know if they would do. Would the players want to do that?
Well,
I don't know.
The only difference
culture of
between the two is
Smash.
the fact that if I were to say the truth, honestly, melee's inputs a lot.
It says
It's a lot skill based than it is in Ultimate.
the Big House Online, held annually since 2011, also included a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament. That competition has been canceled as well.
So yeah,
So at this point, Nintendo just didn't want to do
yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't want it, and then it seems like from what we're reading, at least, that the Big House did not
Communicate
the correct way to be like, hey, maybe we do this a different way. Let's work around it so that we can still hold the event, because a lot of people care about this. Because at the end of the day, these people aren't going to stop playing the game.
Yeah.
These people aren't going to stop wanting to watch the game. So like Nintendo doing this, while it's going to make people pissed off at Nintendo, that'll be gone in like 2 months maybe.
Yeah.
Like nobody's going to remember, because 2 months is like 6 years right now anyway.
Yeah.
So it won't matter in the end.
And
And that's sad.
Yeah.
But like next year, say the world opens up and they do that competition again at probably half capacity, Nintendo's not going to give a fuck because they're sitting next to each other playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that's just it. Like
Yeah.
as long as they're using if you're using my cartridge, I'll be okay. But if you're using an emulator, I'm not okay.
I would even
type
see them
deal.
try to like do something next year and be like, well, no, we don't want you to do this event at all because you tried to screw us last year.
Right.
And if that's the case, then sucks to suck
See,
for the
for the
big
big
house.
For the
Yeah.
Big House's sake, I hope that does it. I hope
Yeah.
they're able to continue somehow.
Yeah.
But it's also like you said, they've been going on since what, 2011. If they haven't tried to do something with Nintendo yet, that's honestly just on them.
Yeah.
And if they have, and Nintendo shut them down, and that's the reason why they said no, we're still doing it.
Then that's
There's a lot of
yeah.
details that obviously aren't there, but it's like at the end of the day, they're not communicating with each other at all,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're never gonna have a working relationship
Yeah.
unless one of them just decides to just bite the
Buckles,
bullet
yeah.
and be like, you know what, guys, let's just sit down and talk about
Yeah.
this. What do we do to make this mutually beneficial for both of us?
Mm-hmm.
Sell official like merch from the
Yeah.
Nintendo store, do a discount code from the Big House, and then they get like 10% off, which isn't really anything because you're already paying like $30 for shipping for a Yoshi
Mm-hmm.
plushie. And look, Nintendo's making money. They're making money off ticket sales. Boom, you win
Yeah.
Right.
all around.
Yeah, I think it's all about like just making a business aspect when it comes to that sort of thing. Like right now, if Evo wasn't as big as it was, then it's not because it didn't do the right connections. You know what I mean? Like Evo has been going strong for so long, especially with so many different companies and games. They must be doing something right when it comes to their like event planning and making a contract with these companies that they're dying to just put out the next game for them to use. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was a really good question though.
No, for
yeah.
real.
Yeah, that guy
that's
kept
something
that
that-
was yeah.
That's something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought of anything like that either. Like them shutting down something like that. It's been so long since I've seen that happen. Like since Game Freak, like I told you.
I feel like we haven't. Yeah. I feel like we haven't seen, like, especially this year, because there wasn't many events.
Yeah.
There wasn't
And the
really.
one event we did get was somewhat lackluster. But we made it a good time on
Yes, we
twitch.tv/save before quitting.
Watch it.
Watch it.
Watch it on Twitch and then also on YouTube.
Watch us get us drunk.
Thank you
Get
again,
us
Kev.
drunk.
We also got another question, technically.
How?
Like 20, technically an hour ago. Holy shit. It was an hour ago. It's a two-parter. from
dun.
Yukino Pato. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm
You
sure
are.
I'll be yelled at in the next 20 minutes if I did say it wrong.
I think you're saying that right.
Cool. So, part 1. How's Nico doing?
Oh, well, fuck it. I'm feeling great. I'm done with finals. I handed in my last final, which I just finished about an hour before this episode.
Oh, yeah.
And
Late night episode for us boys. Ant was
Yeah.
like at a full obtuse angle on the couch,
Yeah, I was-
melting
yeah.
into it.
Knocked out before I jumped on this mic.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm starting to hit that stress reliever point now.
Yeah, man.
Two
You got
shots
games
in,
coming your way
two,
now.
2 shots in and a beer, and I should be okay.
Hell yeah.
One more week of school, and then I get to start playing games, setting up my own stream, and jumping on and Save Before We Quit stream to start doing that
Hell yeah.
that weekly stream that we were talking about
Yeah,
a few
it's coming.
episodes back.
We're gonna do it.
Been a little busy this week.
Yeah.
So we'll wait for part 2 of the question, and we'll
Okay.
do our normal question of the week.
Yeah.
What have y'all been playing? That's our recurring segment of what have y'all been playing?
Yeah.
If you haven't been playing, what you've been doing? Obviously, Nico's been doing finals. Have you done anything else this week?
No. Other than having this, just a Twitch stream with you guys.
Yeah.
I haven't been really
watch on
playing
Twitch.
anything, except for my own game on the finals,
Nice.
which is not fun.
flex my own game.
Yeah.
What y'all playing? I'm playing my shit.
Hell yeah.
Oh, y'all
But,
playing those other companies' games? I'm playing my game.
So
Bitch.
other than that, damn. Other than that, I've been okay. Just doing that and then getting ready to play some games coming up next
Oh, yeah.
week.
Sounds good.
Word.
I'm gonna start with Smash Brothers, and I'm putting it out there for my cousin Ari.
No.
Fire is coming.
How about Ara? You can wait because this boy needs to get caught up in Last of Us 2. Because Ant's at the point of like exhaustion.
Well, I think this is
thinking
coming.
that it's ended like 8 times.
It keeps almost ending. So I have been playing. Well, like Chris said, Last of Us
Yeah,
2.
well-
We both, me and Chris, got Cyberpunk, which is we're going to talk about. We're going to really
part
get
2 of
into
the
that.
question.
in part 2
Yes.
of the question, yeah.
But I played that for the first 3 to 4 hours of it, and then I thought, like, I didn't beat Last of Us 2, and I don't want to get super invested in this game and not complete that. I already beat Spider-Man before I beat Last of Us 2.
You haven't even touched Ghost.
I mean, that's a quick one though.
It is, but I don't want to keep, like, the more games I beat in between, I'm just
Yeah.
leaving it further and further behind.
I guess, but it's not like you were trying to platinum the Miles Morales.
True.
Like you just wanted to get the story and like experience it.
Plus, that was my first PS5 game, so I was hyped. I
You
wanted to
had
play the
to.
game. I want
Yeah.
to play the PS5, so
You need
yeah. Yeah, so I put Cyberpunk down and went back to Last of Us 2. And yeah, I'm just making my way. I'm at hour 38 in that game.
chronologically, technically, where he's at, he should have one more Abby playthrough, like one more part where he switches to Abby, and then the final Ellie. I believe, if what he was describing correctly to me at where he was at,
Which I won't
without
say on
spoiling
here.
for Nico.
Because Nico is here.
I'm still too far behind on that game.
Nico's at like the first time you play Abby,
Yes, I am.
so like
I
you
am
are
on,
like insanely.
I
behind.
am.
You have
I am on hour 20. Actually, I am on hour 20, and I just switched to Abby, and I'm on the first chapter.
and
of
I'm
Abby.
rounding up to hour 40, so that lets you know how much time you, and I haven't even beaten it yet. So you have 20 plus hours left in
Yeah,
that game.
I will be okay though. I think
I mean,
like
once you're free, you will be able to binge
yeah,
that.
absolutely. Like I
Just don't
I'm-
loot every
like,
single
I'm-
goddamn thing like you did in Fortnite.
Listen, looting has been great. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
No,
Yeah,
stop looting.
yeah, and that
The
game has
storm's
been
coming.
great. I haven't either died, neither have I had an issue where I didn't have the ammo I needed for certain enemies. So
Cool.
I think the only one time I died was during one of the flashbacks with Ellie. Because I
There is-
got surprised by a bloater.
I've been pretty good throughout this game, but there is a boss that can.
Oh yeah,
I never want to
Terrifying.
see that thing again.
terrifying. Am I right?
I've died so many times.
I think I died 3 or 4 times fighting him,
Oh no.
or her, or I don't want to assume.
I died under 10, but more than 3 or 4.
Yeah, that boss, and I hate the location
Yes.
of it, just because it's very tight quarters, and it does not it's not a fun time.
and it's relentless. Like you really gotta like
you have to constantly
find a
move.
second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Molotov and shotguns. Got it.
Well, yes and no,
Yeah.
because the area you're at kind of works against Molotovs in certain spots.
And
no.
who you are and where you are, I don't think you have
Yeah.
Molotovs.
You might not actually know. I'm thinking
No,
about
I
it.
did not have Molotovs there.
No.
I think they're around the room. Because I remember using it.
No. You can get the pipe bombs.
Pipe bombs. Okay, never
There's
mind.
no Molotovs.
Got it.
Yeah.
I've played not in a while, so.
All right.
But
But what we did
excited.
before we
no, you're
get
not for that boss.
no, you're not.
Do
That's
not.
out of everything I'm going through in that game. That was the time I was putting the controller down. Like, am I just gonna quit? Am I not gonna beat this shit?
Not only is it hard, it's also terrifying.
Right.
Like-
So it's freaking you out on two different levels. Like you're exhausted and you're just like, I don't want this thing
You are
to
Ellie.
creep up on me.
You are Ellie in that moment where you're just exhausted and you're scared shitless. But yeah.
But before we get to Chris and I, because we already
I played one game.
once we know what Chris has been playing, it's going to lead right into everything else. So before we get there, what we didn't talk about on here, because we recorded right before we did it, we didn't talk about us all playing Fortnite.
Yeah, we did play
yeah,
Fortnite.
that's right.
Yeah, ironically, that's the first game that
That's
we've
the
all
first
played
game,
together.
yeah. Yes.
Besides like Smash at party, which I don't necessarily count.
Yeah,
that's just
because
like
we have
where
a
it's
bunch of
party.
people. Yeah.
Like a first online game we've played together. I think that's the first time I added you on a social gaming.
That is the first
source.
time I've heard you over my video game
Yes.
headset.
Which was just, it was a good time. I mean, here's the thing. I haven't played Fortnite since, I think, all last week, or the current week that we play. I've just been playing Cyberpunk. But Fortnite is fun, man. And I hate that I say that. Because, like,
Rewind 2 weeks.
yeah. Like, it's a weird feeling. Like, I haven't touched Apex in 3 weeks.
That's not like
Yeah,
you.
same.
It's not. And like, it's not even because there's nobody to play with, because like my cousin still plays and like he has like his alt account, so like we can technically still play with him and not be in like the pros, because that's where he's at now. And like he even hopped on Fortnite with me and my brother one night, and like we just, and he was like, it's actually fun. And I'm like, yeah, I know, like it's weird that it's fun. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I found it weird. Like
I also
how can I
spent
say,
way
when
too
I
much
was playing
money.
when I was playing Apex with you guys, and I was playing with Julian and another coworker of mine playing Apex, it's like I felt super intense
Oh, yeah.
because I really didn't like. I wasn't too acquainted with the looting system, with the weapon system, and all that stuff, and like
It takes
which
some
weapons
time.
were better, and like what to do with the inventory and stuff like that. But when I hop on Fortnite, like even though they didn't technically have a tutorial like Apex does, I was able to just literally jump in and be like, "Oh, this weapon is the best one," or "This is better than the one I had
Or that
before."
you like to
and
use
then it's
it
like,
more.
yeah, and then it, like I have to commend them on their UI system when it comes to the like equipment and all that stuff, because that was so much simpler than what Apex has, but still does the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's
you can
the
still,
same, but it's
the
very
same, but
different
it's
at the same
yeah.
time.
So it's weird because of the fact that you can optimize. You don't have optimization for each weapon. You just have better weapons.
Yeah.
But just having that little difference between Apex and Fortnite, it just adds a little extra like relief when you're playing the game. So
You
like
also
even
only
if
have
you
5 inventory spaces
Right.
too, as opposed to
like 10
almost
or 15.
15 to 20 when you get like a good backpack. Like if you
Right.
get a gold backpack, you get like 20 spots, and each of those spots can stack X amount of whatever you need. So it's like
Yeah.
you have way too much stuff, pretty much content wise, on Apex. But Fortnite's just simple,
Oh yeah.
and then it's you're not, well, you're slightly mad when you lose, but like you're not as mad when you lose in Apex. Like Apex, I'm fucking mad when I lose. So I'm like, I just looted for like 10 minutes. I got all these attachments that I actually wanted to use.
And you
This is
lasted
my
for
30th
like-
game and my only time that I found
Yeah.
like ammo. And
And you lasted for like 5 minutes in
Yeah.
a fight.
like I hear footsteps
Yeah.
for a second, and then I die.
Yep.
And I'm like, and
After
I'm,
all that work you
yeah,
put in.
and I'm
Yeah.
pissed. In Fortnite, like if I drop down, even if I'm dropping like end of the map, like away from the circle, I'm picking up a couple guns. Even if they're crap, I still can like, I can fend for myself.
Yeah.
And then like while building is something that I'm not amazing at, I'm okay. You know, like I've built for y'all. Like we were playing the one mode and we were trying to get up on top of the what's it, the thing in the middle, the Coliseum.
The Coliseum,
and we just ramped us both up, and I was doing the double ramps to make sure we didn't get shot out, and like, you know, and I'm just like building because it's with like the control schemes. If you use that Builder Pro set, like it's super easy and intuitive after like 3 or 4 games. Like
the simplicity of Fortnite pretty much lends itself to its like success. I think that's why.
Yeah.
It's so easy to approach. It's kid friendly.
Yep.
Like there's not blood shooting out or anything.
Right.
Like
but also fuck them because of the amount.
Yeah, dude, when they're pulling 90s on you.
No, not the people that play. The company for charging as much as they do for skins.
Oh yeah, that's for
because I did fold and buy the Kratos one because I did want Kratos because I was like, you know, this is kind of like a big moment in like gaming, having like Kratos in like Fortnite and being able to play him on like PC and X, Y, and Z, and now Master Chief coming or already out, which Nico predicted off mic. We didn't get Samus right,
Samus,
at least for the moment. We might get that in the future.
I still feel like it's coming. Yeah,
it has to.
Yeah,
but other than that, I think it was the night we were streaming, and like they released this like superhero set, and it was like maybe 15 different skins, and they were all different ethnicities and different genders, and each of them came with like different costumes, and like you could edit the costumes to be like your type of superhero and like look the way you want with your different masks and whatnot. And it was probably one of the most like customizable skins that I guess you could get, in my opinion. But they were $15 each for just one skin.
So it's not like the pack. It's just
you get one skin for $15, and it was just like that guy, and that's it. And then you can edit his costume, but it's that guy, and that was crazy to me because like I bought the Kratos pack, which was Kratos, the glider, which was his shield, the axe, which is dope, and I use it with my Mando, and it looks cool as hell seeing him with the axe.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
And then there's one more thing, an emote with the axe.
The little head in the back.
The head on the back, you get a Mimir on your back, and you also get the emote with the axe. If you hit if you hit like a tree with the axe for a while, it builds up ice, and then you can do an emote in which you break the ice off.
Wow, that's cool.
Or it just breaks it off over time because you know that's how smart they are. Yeah. But that was $20, and I didn't feel bad paying $20 for that because I was like, while I'm not getting like a game for this, like I could buy a $20 game on Steam and get a full experience. I got a cool skin. I got a glider that I'm using for Mando. I'm using the mirror on his back because I don't have the child yet because it's at the very end of the battle pass, which I do also have. But yeah, like I saw those skins. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. And especially around Christmas time too. I was like, that's why they're doing this, and it's so fucked up.
Well, the thing is like that's how they're gonna make their game. Microtransactions.
I know, but like $15 for a singular skin?
I used to pay $25 for a skin on League of Legends.
But like I first started playing that game when it first came out.
Was League of Legends free to play?
Absolutely. Knowing that the skin is just to like show
you look pretty.
It's nothing else but cosmetic.
I mean,
you can be the
plus it's fan
shittiest guy.
service. Like I get it.
Right.
Oh, it's 100% fan
100%.
service.
You're paying to be a fan.
That's the only reason I'm playing the game.
I'm not knocking anyone.
Right.
Like it's your prerogative. You want to pay. It's fine.
And that's why
because y'all know. Best believe if all of a sudden fucking Sonic ran across Fortnite, I'm like, well,
it's over. Yeah.
I'm taking out all my money.
Oh, yeah, man.
No, but
y'all want to play Fortnite right now? Like right now? Like I need to do
I gotta go past.
Yeah, like it makes sense.
Meanwhile, you're just going slow as shit.
Yeah. Sonic holding a shotgun.
I do agree with. Oh, it would be cool if it was Shadow though. Remember that Shadow game?
Oh yeah, he had guns. That's right. That makes sense.
It would be like,
do it.
I agree with you, Chris. Like in the fact that it's abysmal that they have that much.
Yeah, it's
like,
just scummy.
Yeah,
like I don't appreciate.
But it's just like
it.
it's the name of the game to keep it going. That's the problem.
I guess.
Because
I
like
feel
other
like they
than
need
that,
those $15 singular skins, like so that they can do a Kratos for $20, which is fine. but I'm not gonna be happy about. I'm not happy that I spent $20 on Kratos.
I mean,
first of all.
you never feel happy when you spend money on stuff like that.
I'm not. Like,
You end up
I
enjoying
literally
it,
bought
but
the game God of War for $4 on CD keys for my PS4. I spent more on a skin in Fortnite than for the actual God of War game,
The
which
hours
I've
long,
not
yeah.
even platinumed, by the way, and not finished
oh,
everything.
you gotta get to that.
No, I'm good.
Oh, come on.
I don't need to. I've already beaten it. I
Those
know this.
Valkyries need you to kill them.
Fuck those Valkyries are easy. They're not worth my time.
Man,
But-
like
Yeah, Fortnite's fun, and
Yeah,
it's,
it is
it's
fun,
okay
though.
to like Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's just not okay to be the abysmal, like, doing, like, the stupid dances and shit and, like, the TikTok memes. Like, it's just,
Yo.
it gets to a point of cringiness.
we're
where
about
it's
to
just
get some
like,
hate mail from some
Yeah,
11-year-olds.
we are, right?
All
I don't think
being
so.
mad at you.
If you are an 11-year-old and you think that it's cool to floss, stop.
But
Get
also
some help.
floss when you brush your teeth, kids.
Yes, do that, but don't do the dance and
You
think
know-
that it's cool. Like it's really not. Like if you're a dancer, cool. Do it in like your dance routine, I guess. It's like a little shout out to how you're a millennial. But like you're just like a kid like at a football game and they put the camera on you and all like 80 kids in the camera just start flossing and there's
Flossing.
the one kid that can do it well and the other kids look to him and they're like, I'm doing it, aren't I? But they're not.
They're kids.
They're kids.
I
though.
know. I'm letting them know. It's just a public service announcement to what's the term that we're calling our audience now that that Kev helped us with that we've
Oh,
already forgotten.
I've already forgotten what we're
Oh,
calling
see,
them.
this is why I
we'll
need to
come
write
back
it
to
down.
We'll write it down for next episode.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's just about it ain't cool. It's cringy. It's cringe.
Yeah.
That's what makes the game
It's cringe
unlikable.
that the kids do it.
It's the community that thinks it's cool. Because
I feel like
the
there's-
emotes are the least cool part about that game.
I feel like there should be an age line you put where it's not cool.
Right.
Because I feel like if I just see a 7-year-old doing, they're being 7.
Yeah,
Like,
They're
It's
being
correct. It's-
7, but they need to know that it ain't cool.
no, it's cool to them.
It's
though.
cool to
That's
them.
cool
though.
that it's cool. To
You're
them.
not their
But it's not
peers.
cool.
Their
Listen,
peers
listen,
think
listen,
it's cool.
listen, Chris. I think Fortnite is the one game that
It ain't
it's,
cool.
it's okay to have that thought process, though.
Listen, kids. Don't not floss because some grown ass man told you it's not cool to do it.
Did you not see Ninja at the New Year's thing last year?
No.
Where he's like in the pouring rain and he's at like in the middle of Times Square and there's just this crowd of like people down in their like ponchos and shit. And he's just flossing. Come on, guys. I don't have
Well,
enough movement.
That's his fault.
No, it's not his fault because he was told to do it. And it was cringy. And
I
he's
didn't know
come
that
out and
part.
said it was cringy as well.
All right, well, yeah, he should feel cringy. If it was like a 6-7-year-old doing it, I'd be like, all right, well, he's just
Yeah,
being a
just
kid.
being a kid.
Listen, Chuck E. Cheese is closed forever.
That's horrible. And that's the reason why they got Fortnite.
And two,
Yo, Chucky from Chuck E. Cheese in Fortnite.
You're done.
that would be wild.
Yeah, that
That's
would
the
be
way that
wild.
you revive the
That's how you
franchise.
That's
bring
it.
back Chuck E. Cheese.
Dope.
But in 2 weeks, then Chris is gonna get on here and be like, you know what?
Flossing's
Flossing
cool,
is
man.
cool.
Yeah, right?
That's one thing I will definitely not say.
There's be a video on YouTube of him just flossing super fast, surrounded by 6-year-olds.
No, I'll just do it like super slow and just like speed up the video and just be just looking super depressed straight at the camera.
If we get 20 viewers on our Twitch streams, you're gonna have to do the floss.
No, I
20
need more than
viewers?
20.
What do you mean?
Yeah, 20. That's you could call 20 people after this, like, yo, go watch
I
it.
know.
Oh god. But Fortnite aside, it was fun. We'll be streaming it soon.
Yeah.
Again, maybe we'll have Nico stream it this time so I don't have to have it on my
Yeah, and then you
stream
guys can see
going.
my ugly mug.
Yeah, there you go. That's a word. We'll figure out how Ant can stream sometime soon too.
Listen, one day.
Listen,
we'll have
we're
him
just
stream some
We're
stuff.
gonna have to hook them up with some good stuff.
Yeah.
We'll use your phone.
That's fine.
Yeah, you can do
I'll
that.
use my phone.
Yeah. But other than that, part 2 of the question from Yukino Pato is, so how's Cyberpunk? And let me read this correctly to the question. It says Cyberpunk 2069.
69. Nice.
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 I wish it was 2069.
I mean, with
Parts
the
of
amount,
that game is 2069.
with the amount of dildo pictures that I've had in
Yeah.
the Discord from you two,
Yeah.
I think it's 2069.
So where do we start with this game?
You guys fill this in because
You could start from.
I want to start from the character customization because I think that in and of itself, there's some stuff that's some bullshit.
Wait. before we get into the intricate details of the game, let's just start with the obvious. How
It's bad?
it is. Like, even before we get to like enjoyment.
Hit us with your first impressions.
Well, my first impression
Mine's-
wasn't even me hands on with the game. It was me
alright.
seeing how bad it looked online
Yeah.
on
Jeez.
last gen now, PS4,
And
Xbox
Xbox.
One
Yeah.
gen platforms. It's
Yeah.
it's unforgivable.
It looks like a PS2 game.
Right.
It's straight up like it looks disgusting.
I'm glad I didn't get that game yet.
I'm glad you didn't get it as well. Like
Yeah.
I thought that you would also buy it just so that you could play it like
Nah,
once you're free.
I felt something like deep within my stomach
in your
from
jellies.
Well, the last time when we had a prediction
from
of like
something
what
and I can't
score this
remember.
game was gonna get, like what score this game was gonna get from its release, and then we see the scores getting a 9, an 8, a 7.
Yeah, IGN was high.
IGN was on drugs.
and then the thing is like I compared it back to Anthem, how it was a good fun game that not a lot of people care to play it because you got a horrible score. I got a 6 out of it. And then I gave it my own score to Cyberpunk 77, knowing that it's going to get a score of 6 when it comes out. And the thing is,
I would give it a 4.
it didn't happen, but now you guys can give me what your scores are now. Because I know you guys were giving them a high 9 and a high 8. You had a 7, I remember
I had
correctly.
a 7.
IGN gave that game a 9, which is like that's y'all either got some deal with them or something, and I'm not here to like shit on IGN because I read their stuff too, but it was like, where did you guys get that fucking score from?
They pulled it out their ass, man.
Like
Unless they were running it on like an insanely good PC, because like
they could only have ran it on PC because, again, that's another thing we got to talk about. That's the only copies they sent out for review.
Yeah.
And now I see why.
I have a buddy at work that's specifically playing it on PC, and like I'll tell you what happened with my gameplay in a second, but like he was shocked with what had happened to me compared to what happened to him, because he's had not a single issue, none of the bugs that have happened like that are like, you know, like viral on the internet, nothing's happened to him. He's had a completely like cut and dried, this is a new game that's pretty good to him.
They say
And
that's the place to play it.
Yeah, and so let's just get from the point of view, how many hours are you in right now, Ant?
I'm not in far at all. I played 2 to 4 hours, somewhere in that range, and then before I wanted to fully invest myself, I was like, let me go beat Last of Us 2, and I went back to that.
Did you have any crashes?
No, but I had it froze for like 5 seconds.
Okay.
Like I was running from someone was shooting at me. I was running through the little town area, and it like just hitched, and I was like, what the fuck? And then it just started moving again.
So I'm about 18 hours into the game, because I literally just binge played this game. Because like, don't get me wrong, I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
I'm actually having fun. While
That's what has me torn about it.
like I don't like this game, but I'm having fun with it. It's similar to the Fortnite, where it's like I don't like the way they operate with their microtransactions, but I'm having fun with it. So there's that. So I played 18 hours. I've had 14 crashes. The game completely just freezing, the error screen coming up, the loading bar to send the report, and then load the game back up. When I load the game back up, it takes maybe about like a minute and a half to get back to where I was, and each time that I've done that, it has brought me back to the exact moment where it crashed. So I will give it that. Right. But that's about like one crash every hour and 15 minutes.
That's more of a prop to the system than it is the game.
Yeah. And this is a digital copy of the game. This isn't a like disc, so it's not like my disc
Same
is
here.
skipping, or like there's something like a scratch on it or something like that, or maybe this disc has just got some like bad mojo on it. Nothing. It's a digital copy bought straight from the PlayStation Store, downloaded the day after. I think it was a Friday, day after our stream. I was a little hungover that morning, obviously. Bought it, waited for it to download, and hopped right in, and crashes. It got to the point where I've literally set a timer for like an hour every single time it crashes to when I reboot the game, so I know to manually save, because I know in the next 15 minutes or so it's going to crash.
That's
and every
ridiculous.
time it has.
There's no
That's
excuse.
unforgiving.
There's no excuse. And like after how many gigs was the day one patch? Like 55 gigs plus another like 4 or 5 gig patch the next day, which was supposed to fix the crashes, but only fixed the crashes on PS4 and Xbox
Right.
One. It's a joke.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
And they knew what they were doing. That's what I don't like. I don't like the fact that this game came out. And I remember hitting y'all up in our chat when they said only PC versions of the game were sent out to review. I was like, that's fishy.
yeah.
Like, why would you not send the console versions knowing
They knew.
a lot of people, probably majority of people are coming. That's the version they're going to get.
Well, you want to know why, right?
Well, we know why now.
It's false advertising. It's No Man's Sky Part 2.
Not only do we know that, but I did start looking around the grapevine. Like I was telling you guys, that I'm glad that I didn't get the game, but I did read up about it just because I kept getting like reports from Chris saying like how many times it was crashing.
Oh yeah, I would text you guys every time it
Right,
crashed,
yeah.
and
So I
like
was
my
like-
rage slowly built.
So like in the middle
Where I
of
was
me doing
murdering civilians. I was like, fuck it.
in the
Kill
middle
'em.
of me doing like homework and stuff, I kept seeing things pop up left and right. And like one of the things that I noticed was like a lot of the people who were originally sent the game like prior to the release date weren't allowed to stream the game.
Right.
So like I had people like freaking what's his name? Wade and Corpse that were already streaming Miles Morales when like 2 to 3 days before it was released. And I think it was Wade who came up forward saying that they were 100% sworn to secrecy if when they were given the key to not stream until day after its release date. And then the worst part is on top of that, they had like the release for the collector's edition. There was a lot of them that were more sold towards PC than that were sold for consoles. So again, they were boasting on the collector's edition, making the money in, and it's true, it did happen. Like they made their money back for the production of the game.
They made their
in the
money back
first
on
day
pre-orders.
On pre-orders, but then absolutely 2 days later, I looked at the stock market, playing, like what am I doing? The Robinhood. Like I was looking at their stocks. Their stock dropped by 28% 2 days after Cyberpunk came out.
Rightfully
And
so.
that was outrageous. I was like, there had to be something else that they weren't saying, like to throw that out there.
There was one thing they weren't saying, is that the game wasn't fucking ready.
It wasn't finished.
And like that's
At all.
And literally we said this when it like they should have either
Yeah.
This is the game. If they released what is out in our hands right now back in March, I wouldn't have no problem. I'd be like, you
Because
know
it would
what?
have been understandable.
They're gonna update it constantly. It's fine. We're gonna like get better with time. It's still up for Game of the Year, and it could be in that category for the Game Awards. We can at least talk about it in that same discussion with Last of Us 2 as being Game of the Year.
Wait, you saying if they would have released in March looking like it looks on
Well,
PS4 and Xbox
correct.
One?
Well, like if it was now and then they fixed it over time. If it was released in March, and then it was like this, people would be mad, but not this mad because it would not have had all the delays. It would have been fixed over time, and by the time we would have gotten here before the Game Awards, it'd be fine. It'd be a fine game. We could at least talk about it in the sense of like, oh yeah, the next gens, maybe not really, but dude, it's
I
garbage.
would've-
It's
I would've been
fucking
okay with-
garbage.
Yeah, I would have been with two things. If you guys had gotten this game back in March, the way it looks now, I would have been okay with it. I would have understood. Midst of COVID, people working from home, things happening, it's understandable. I also would have been 1000% okay if they had been, hey guys, shit's going down, things aren't going right, it'll come out next summer.
That's just the play they should have done.
And honestly, if they had done that, 100% they wouldn't have gotten as much hate as they do now. Reason being is because, like, they would have been okay. They would have been fine. All of these pre-orders, we're still going to make them their money, regardless of what it's been. If you notice, on day one, they made all of their money back for the actual game. If you had extended development for another 6 months, you would have been 100% okay. Your stocks would have still been okay. Your money would have been okay, and you still would have made a profit off of that game.
Nah, they had to make that money now. I get, like,
But how much money?
I don't understand as in I defend it, but I get why they had to put it out this year. But between all the money they probably spent on advertising and
Merchandise.
just everything and all the just the hype alone. This was probably, it's right there, like the most anticipated game this year.
It is, but then
If they would have waited again till next year, they'd have missed their the fiscal
benchmark.
year.
Oh, I know.
And they would have had to pay that. Like, I get why they were like, probably game time decision, like, fuck it, it has to go out like this.
But the thing is how highly are you going to trust another CD Projekt Red project?
It depends on how much they, like, now they have nothing to do but improve it.
And that's the problem. They have
It
to
is.
improve on that.
Now,
you're spending so many more. How can I say? Like, Chris knows this. When it comes to animation, you spend a lot more time trying to fix something than starting it all over.
Yeah. You,
So it's
you
like-
honestly should just start over from
Yeah.
but that's just with animation. Like, you're not going to start a
No,
whole
but I
game
mean,
over, yeah.
even for a gamer like knowing coding and all that stuff,
Just delete the
half
code and
time
start
sometimes
over.
you just have to start right over. Like, if something doesn't work when you're fixing it, something you're spending hours on to try and fix, even the most minute little details.
It's just a period.
It's just a period. It could just be literally one period. It doesn't matter what it is. So that minor mistake is gonna make the whole game crash, and you don't know what it is. Start over.
In March, if we would have got this in March and it looked like this on PS4 and Xbox One, with the games that came out around that time,
It would have died out.
it
would've died.
Yeah, it would have been. No one would have stood for that shit.
No.
They would have been pissed.
It would have been No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
But
No
see
Man's
what-
Sky, yeah.
See where No Man's Sky is now. Think
True.
about it. That's what happened with No Man's Sky. While it was a different aspect of, like, promising more as in, like, multiplayer and X,
Yep.
Y, and Z, like, they're promising the best game of the year with Cyberpunk 2077. They give us what we got now on last-gen consoles, and it's hot garbage. They, over the course of
Yeah.
the year, while all they have to do while quarantined is make it better, this game is fucking top-notch by the time they release their next-gen patch.
Yep.
That's a huge risk. You got to hope those
It
people
is a
are
big
coming
risk.
back.
But
Yeah,
at the same
because-
time, is it a bigger risk than what they did now? Because now they've lost all these fans. They're offering refunds now
Right.
for those previous gens. So now all these people are getting refunds, and then their stock's dropping, and now they have almost no credibility.
So
While
the-
they made a good game,
Right.
technically, it is a shit game
If
at
you
the
got
same
a
time.
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got a PC. And not only that, I've noticed, I talked to my friend Jack from work. He
Wait,
has.
my bad. Not to cut you off. I don't want to just say if you have a next gen console and or a PC,
Right.
because it's still
It's still iffy with
when
next
it's
It's
gen.
still
not
iffy.
when it's still it's iffy, but it's not like PS4, Xbox One.
Right. Well, like.
The way
It
it
runs.
looks.
It runs. It crashes.
Yeah, like right now, I talked to my friend Jack, and he said he played it for on the release night. He played it for about 3 hours. He experienced no crashes, but the only thing that he experienced was a huge amount of latency, and the only thing that was able to be fixed, mind you, he doesn't have as big of a rig as me or Chris have, which we need a bunch
the
of
big
horsepower
rigs.
just to be able to push it. But in reality, he still has like a 2018, 2019 rig that can run games like God of War in them and run games like Final Fantasy in them, that has the ability to do that. But this game, he had to put it at the lowest like possible quality to be able to prevent it from like crashing
Chugging,
or chugging. So he's like, I had no crashes, but I didn't get a full experience of a mechanical world. I got a full experience of a blurry ass place. So
You
it's
just need
like,
context.
yeah,
Yeah. I just don't.
just
Just the blatant.
It's a slap in the face.
Just the blatant, like, we're only sending out PC review copies.
Right.
Was like, that was the biggest red flag of them all.
And
at
then
first.
you
And-
sent the other one, didn't
What?
you? One that were apologizing and sending
Oh,
out.
yeah. I'm going to read that.
Read that, because
Yeah.
that was a really good article. I was
After
like,
that,
what the
I
hell?
want to get into the nitty gritty of why I hated the game from the start.
I mean,
The
you can do
character
that.
creation.
Well,
No, the character creation I need to get in deep with
Alright.
because it's fucking. There's some shit in there that it makes, and my brother brought up some decent points with it, but we'll wait for that.
So as of today, which is January is,
December
December 14th. As of today, Cyberpunk has put out a quote-unquote apology. It says, "Dear gamers, first of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Second, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience. The first round of updates has just been released, and the next one is coming within the next 7 days. Expect more, as we will update frequently whenever new improvements are ready. After the holidays, we'll continue working. We'll release 2 large patches, starting with patch number 1 in January. This will be followed by patch number 2 in February. Together, these should fix the most prominent problems gamers are facing on last-gen consoles. We will be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of their release. They won't make the game on last-gen look like it's running on a high-spec PC or next-gen console, but it will be closer to that experience than it is now. Finally, we would always like everyone who buys our games to be satisfied with their purchase. We would appreciate it if you would give us a chance, but if you're not pleased with the game on your console and don't want to wait for updates, you can opt to refund your copy. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system on PSN or Xbox, respectively. And yada, yada, yada. You have up till December 21st, 2020 to get your refund.
Which is also bullshit. Don't give me a timeline for wanting to get a refund.
The first fucking couple sentences is bullshit.
The whole statement is bullshit.
For them to say, hold on, I'm gonna go right back to it. For them to say, we apologize for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence not allowing you to make an informed decision about your purchase.
You're not sorry.
How could you be sorry? You had to know. It's intentional for you to send out only PC copies, so you had to know what it looked like everywhere else.
Correct.
Like what are you apologizing for?
And the thing is, like, prior to that, prior to that, you also told us that you hadn't play tested this system in over 9 different consoles. And then even after release, now you're telling us the only thing that was really reviewed or fully finished reviewed, technically, for the reviewers out there was PC.
That's not even the majority of the people who are buying the game.
So you technically are just telling me that when you created the release time, you created the release time to get PC done because you knew that PC was the only thing that would run it.
This is the one time PC Master Race.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's it.
Because, like, that's the only way you can play this game.
Right.
Flawlessly.
Yeah, which in case it makes me mad at the fact that games nowadays are created on an editor that runs off PC. If the game runs on PC and the game works on PC, it's going to work on PC regardless of what issues it may have. It may be less issues than if you had it ported out for a system. But the thing is that you're looking at is, this next gen console is still not as strong as that PC, regardless of how you slice it. The Xbox Series X is by far, and this is me just praising Xbox, even though I don't own one, is the only one that I could say that has the tech and the power possible to be able to get to a 2016 to 17 rig. Meaning it still doesn't have the same
high-end rig.
Right, and it still doesn't have like a high-end power like nowadays. Yeah. If you can get a rig now for base price $2,500, you got something that's technically 3 Xbox put together.
I would even say 5, dude.
Right. And like at that point,
you're playing 2,500.
And at that point, you can put the laggiest, buggiest game ever on PC. Guess what? You're still gonna get a good view.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's
so
good because
just lie to us, you know.
It's good because on PC because it's smooth and
even
there's
then,
not that many hiccups or free. But there are. But the game, that's what I'm about to say. But the game itself is still flawed.
Correct.
There's graphical flaws.
Yeah.
There's texture flaws.
Yeah. Like if
there's still flaws.
Yeah. If NPCs eating floating burgers.
Yeah.
Like, that aren't even. There's an NPC in the game that's like eating a burger that's invisible in their hand, and the fucking burger is just floating in front of them, not moving. And I'm like, are you joking? Like, I understand that this whole city, if you look at it like from behind, looks fucking gorgeous. But that's just a matte painting. I walk into the fucking city and this guy's eating floating burger. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you allowing this to happen?
Ridiculous.
Like
that's like a minute detail. First of all, but like it was big enough for me to see.
Yeah, looking back at those like Cyber Nights that they used to have. like showing off the game parts and all that stuff. Me looking at all the mechanics that they wanted to shove and cram into this freaking game, I already knew that there was going to be so many issues because there's not one system that you're going to be able to implement that's not going to fuck another thing up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like my final say is without even playing the game because I want to just leave it up to Chris to just tear it apart even more. It's literally don't piss on me and tell me it's raining.
Oh, that's definitely what they did.
Like that's it. That's all I'm gonna leave it with.
Man.
That's literally all I'm gonna leave it with, and I want Chris to just rip it apart.
And side note with that, when it rains in the game, it looks like shit. It doesn't look like actual rain. First of all, let's get that out of the fucking way. All right, so let's start with character creation, and let's start from the bottom of the game, work our way up. So first, you get to choose what one of three, like I guess, story choices. You get to choose if you're in the countryside, I guess, street kid, or a corpo. Corpo, I guess, is just like a rich motherfucker. Mm-hmm. We both chose street kid.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just felt like that was what I would be if I was in this world.
It just seemed. I think it comes from just us playing other video games. Like that seems like the fun choice.
It's the fun choice, and it's the choice that seems like it was what it was supposed to be.
Right.
Like the true story.
Right.
In quotes. So we both chose street kid. So then you get to character creation. You choose from a male body and a female body. Cool.
Yep.
Moving from there, you get a male voice and a female voice. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. That's it. It's just those two choices. It's not like a masculine voice, like a I don't know. I don't want to sound like offensive with this, but like a dude with like a feminine voice or a woman with a masculine voice. Like I was saying, at least give us those 4 options. Mm-hmm. Like have a masculine man, a feminine woman, a masculine woman, and a feminine man. Have those 4 options, then you can choose from there. Then you get to your hair and your eyes, and you can make your nails colors and shit. Mm-hmm. Cool. Then we get to genitalia. Why?
Why is that needed at all?
Why the fuck is this in the game?
I remember when that was a headline before this game came out. They were like, you get to pick your dick.
So you get to pick your dick. You get circumcised or uncircumcised. That's cool. Or a vagina. Oh. And then you also can choose
or an uncircumcised vagina. No.
Jesus Christ.
Oof.
Yikes. Or you choose none and you just wear boxer briefs. Cool. Right? So I'm like, okay, I guess this means that you use these in the game. Then you pick your pubes.
Yep.
If you want them in the shape of a heart.
The fuck is
got
that
the
used
landing
for?
strip.
Landing strip or just like a straight up bush. And so I just chose, normal, circumcised, medium dick. Keep it average in the family, Holding it down for the white boys.
Whoa.
Holding it down, average.
Young average out here.
Young
in
average.
These streets.
It's my
Young average.
Watch out for my mixtape on YouTube. Young average. Got a medium dick, yo. Anyway, so you choose that, you drop in, and
is that really where the customization ends? I'm just asking because I haven't.
I mean, you have
in
like
between, like you could do your jawline and your facial hair,
your eye
and
shape.
the color of your hair and your eye, all that stuff.
Like it's there, but like those are the ones where it's like it doesn't make sense. The thing that I don't understand about the genitalia is like you gave me the option to choose both circumcised and uncircumcised, and then also small, medium, and large for my dick size. You gave me all those options, but then you only have 2 voices and 2 body types.
Oof.
Weird. Kind of weird.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't like that from that point of view. It's like, that's weird. And that also comes up later with something that I haven't gotten to yet, but I've read about with romances that you can have with main characters in the game. Apparently, you can have like a legit relationship ending up getting to sex with certain characters, but you need to be specific variations of, male with male voice, female with male voice, male with female, and it has to be that, or else you can't fuck that character.
Weird.
Which is super weird because you can't woo them at all. Like, it's not like you don't get that free choice. Like, I mean, yes, those characters have their own, like, type most likely, and that's what that's based on. But it's like, if this is a game about, like, a world that's very
freedom
open and like,
choice.
freedom, you should be able, as, like, a masculine male, to get with the girl that wants women.
I feel like they kind of missed the mark as for, what's that game? Dragon Age Inquisition. Mm-hmm. Where they had the whole, like, you have a character and you can customize everything. Yeah. There was no there was no section for sexuality customization. You just got plain old character where it was female, male, and you had all those extra choices like you were saying. But I guess they wanted to play it more on the times, but you didn't have to do that if you had the choices that you would.
And this is just respecting, like, I understand, like, if this woman in this character in the game is like a gay woman and only wants to be with a woman voice, I guess that makes sense, but it's like, why would she not want to be with a woman with a masculine voice? You know, it doesn't really make sense.
Right.
If that's not an option to do. You know? I'm not saying, like, me as a masculine guy wants to fuck this lesbian woman, like, I should have the option to do that. But it's like, it doesn't make sense in the structure that they make for you.
Right.
So what you're saying, you're telling me that your customization makes your partner.
Pretty much.
Not your actions in the game.
And then even worse from that, not even worse, but it's like, with all of those genitalia options and like your pubes and the way that they're colored and the way they're shaped, you don't see them ever
No.
when you're having sex. And the only reason I know that is because I haven't had any of the relationship ones, but I've looked up the videos because they're somehow still on YouTube, because they do show nudity from the waist up. Like, they show like breasts and whatnot, and that's about it. But you go to, I think it's Japantown, and that's pretty much where like all the sexual stuff is going on, because they're selling sex. And
which again is really bad when it
it's
comes to
kinda-
cultural
it's-
insensitivity.
and that's the one thing that I will also say, that's the only spot on the map that has what they call joy toys.
Oh no.
Well, that's what they call them in 2077,
Right.
at least.
I mean, yeah,
they're prostitutes, but they call them joy toys. So you go up to this woman or man, there's a man and a woman, and they just offer you a good time, or where you staying tonight, and you can have like a little witty banter, like, oh, what are we doing this in the alley, or whatever, and you just give $100, and then you get a 30-second like weird sex scene with like some weird EDM music, in which you don't see any genitalia. Not that I want to in the first place. It's just, if you're going to make me choose what my dick looks like,
Show it.
show me my dick, you know?
Yeah.
It's my dick.
Yeah, like, I should probably see that during the scene, you know?
Did you see the glitch somebody had on their PC version where when they were dressing the character up, he had a weird glitch to where if he took the pants off and put the pants on, his dick is just hanging out of his pants.
I haven't, but I want to try that
Oh
on
my
PS5.
god, that's too
And
funny.
I mean, granted, you don't see your character often, but when he did, like in cutscenes, he just walk around.
You can
with
look down and see yourself.
Well, he said in the cutscenes, like
Oh,
he's walking
shit.
around this dick.
the
swinging
schlong
around.
just swinging.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense to me why you give these customization options and then they don't matter. And then the literally only 4 variations technically, with the 2 genders and then the 2 voice types, like, that decides who you get to have sex with. That's really strange to me. Like, it doesn't make sense in the sense of a game where it's built around, like, you can do anything. Then again, like, I understand, like, if that character has a preference, then they don't want to have relations with a guy. Makes sense, sure. But, like, what if it's a guy with a vagina? You know? Like, does the genitalia matter? No, it doesn't. It's the voice and the gender you choose, which doesn't make any sense. Like, technically, if it's a guy with a vagina, it's technically a transgender male. But that didn't go fully through the transition, I guess. I also don't know. Like, it's such a weird...
That's very.
They put you in a weird spot. It's almost like, then why even have the sex?
Yeah.
That's
Why
very
do
insensitive.
This? It makes me feel weird talking about it, because I feel like I'm walking on eggshells.
Right.
But I'm just trying to say I don't understand why this is an option.
I feel like the more stories I hear about Cyberpunk, it's like hearing this story. It feels like they were just trying to just throw everything
Thing
into
in
this,
there,
and like so
yeah.
much shock value in, without taking the time to make the world.
There's
make
no
sense.
reason for it.
Yeah.
Like, even we talked about off mic the montage in the beginning with
Dude,
you and your friend.
that fucking
it's like, why?
Pissed me off.
It's like, because everything they show in the you meet up with your friend in the beginning, and it's not a spoiler because on any of the trailers they showed before
Yeah.
this, they
They're all
show
the
you
same.
that you meet your friend in the beginning.
So yeah, you pretty much you're going to steal a car
Right.
for someone to like pay off a debt. And when you're about to steal the car, some guy puts his iron to you and says, yo, this is my car. Sorry, bud, you lose. And like, y'all are talking like really calm and shit and having whatever. And then the cops pull up. and then you have the choice to either run or just deal with it. Both of us chose to deal with it,
Yeah.
and pretty much after we got our asses kicked by the cops, we both woke up on the stairs, and we're all buddy with the guy. His name's Jackie. Great guy. Honestly, one of my favorite characters in the game. So, well, so far at least. So you pretty much just like become best friends with him, and you go to have like dinner, and then a cutscene happens in which you and Jackie go on like all these like heists and missions, and like pretty much
it's the crime version of Me and My Best Friend Adventures montage.
And it's a huge time skip, a huge time jump, but it's like it's way too long.
Yeah.
First of all, it's like a minute and a half of just like really cool shit that I would have loved to fucking play.
You know why it doesn't make sense either? Because you do within the montage, they show you like handling a gun and doing all this shit and robbing people and going through all this thing. But then when you come back,
You don't
he
have
gives you
any.
the training program to learn how to use a gun.
Yeah.
It's like in the montage, you were already this badass dude.
And they try to pitch it as like, oh, it's some like advanced software to learn, and it's just basics. Like, and then this, first of all, the stealth sucks ass. Like, the stealth killing is super hard to do at base level, and I'm already leveled up like very high in stealth, and it's still hard to do. And I mean, I guess it's supposed to be, but it's like it shouldn't be this fucking hard. Like, I'd rather just pull out my katana and chop some heads off as opposed to doing stealth kills that are gonna get me caught immediately. There's no reason for me to do stealth. There's no benefit.
The stealth shit reminds me of like a sloppy Hitman. You know, in Hitman, when you gotta knock him out, but you gotta dispose of the body.
Yeah.
Disposing the body is stupid.
But
First of all.
that whole mechanic is in there. You knock him out, and you got to put him in like a locker or a case or something, so nobody finds it.
See, when like I said, when they were showing the cyber nights, it's just like I kept seeing every system possible that they were trying to put in there, and I was like, this is just too much.
And the
Again,
worst system is the police.
And that's what I mean, though, is like they threw all the systems in, but they didn't spend time giving TLC to the world. It's like I never have any like what's the word? I never have any motivation. It's almost like go do this because the game told me to go do this, but I don't feel like I'm not connected. I don't feel like I'm invested in my character. Even my own character, I don't feel like I'm connected to you. I'm
don't
just
feel
playing
like
as an avatar going to do random shit.
I think they missed the mark when it came to them trying to appeal their character to their player's nature by adding too much that didn't need to be added.
Oh, yeah.
Like, again,
Add the stuff, but make it make sense.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I go back to Dragon Age because it's very simple. It's like you can customize that character how you want it, and it's very gender fluid, which is what I want to say.
Skyrim more than anything.
Yeah, because you can literally make it.
But Skyrim's good.
Well, Skyrim went back and actually added very gender fluid choices to your character build up. So
Even
like you
without
have
that, though. Like,
so
don't
you
to
have
choose your
those extra
dick.
choices and stuff
You don't
like
have
that.
to be like the cat
Well,
character
that's
and
what
choose
I'm
your
saying.
cat dick.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like they don't go as far as showing the specific genitalia because
Because
at
it doesn't
that point,
matter.
It doesn't matter. Like if it doesn't matter, why show it? If it doesn't matter, why add it in there? It's just another script that's probably gonna end up fucking up your code later. So why add it in there?
Wait, now I'm thinking of like
What if that's the reason all these bugs are happening? Is because there's dicks in the game?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's going on.
It's just the uncircumcised dick code.
we get
Well, the
another
thing is-
fucking yellow letter written next week.
But,
It was like
look,
we
it was the dicks.
nailed down the
Look,
issue. The
if I-
flapping dicks threw off the code.
If I were to be honest with you, look, put it this way. When you look at aspects of a game, when you're building a world and you have NPCs and you have PCs and character players, right? Each and one of these things is a script. But sometimes to be able to simplify things, what you end up doing is you make a base script. That base script is kind of like a can. The stuff that's in it is just every NPC possible that's going to be made out of the same product that this can has.
It's just a random number generator of like
Correct.
this clothes,
So
this
now,
clothes.
so now let's say you guys have this script. This script says the base script is a character script. It gives you the base abilities to be able to move, base abilities for combat, base ability for customization, right? But then you have an enemy character or an NPC character pulling data from this script saying that the customization data from the character script needs to also talk to the enemy script. So if you have NPCs that are hundreds of them in the city walking around doing their NPC thing, but you're pulling them from this data, you can technically say that the RGN for customization is what's causing the problem.
I would not doubt it because
Right.
I've seen some stupid fucking
And that's what I'm saying. It's
NPCs.
like-
there
it's
was a
like-
dude wrapped in bandages, beaten to the fucking like pulp, bleeding, walking down the street with a bandage on his head, and I did like the talk button to him. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?"
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're dying.
That's another
And that's
thing.
what I'm saying.
It's-
There's no-
they're so like uninspired. Like when they made this game seem like there's all these storefronts that you can do nothing with.
They're
You
all
would think-
locked doors,
Right,
And you
then-
can't even break down the doors.
And then like you walk past anyone on the street doing anything, and they say random shit like, "What's going on, man? What are you looking at?" Like that's all you got for me. Like
It's like Miles Morales with like when you can walk down the street and do the finger guns
high
at
fives and
people,
shit.
and like they're just like, "Yo, man," and it's just like recycled bullshit. It's literally that, but with like 3 voice actors. It's probably more than that, but still.
And the difference, but Miles Morales, you're not playing it for that. You're playing it to swing around and fight
You're
bad
swinging
guys.
over those NPCs because you don't care. But when you're on the street for like 2 seconds, because you got to grab the backpack with your John in it,
Yeah.
you can like give a guy a high five because you know you're Miles Morales and you're cool as fuck.
See,
Right.
that puts it where it's a flashy thing. Now, when you have a script that's just a flashy thing, you can add a script, just make it. You don't have to connect it to anything. But in a dev sense of point of view on this game, I'm sorry, but Chris killed it for me. I don't think I'm gonna buy this game at all.
I would wait until you get a PS5. By the time you get a PS5,
I'll
it'll
probably
be
get it
fixed.
from. I'll wait till it's free on PSN. This will probably be
Well,
one of
you're
those
only waiting
games.
a while for that.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one-
I don't see
know.
this going. Nah, I don't. As much problems this game has, I don't see it going free.
they will
I
not
don't think
do
because
that.
I don't think the last game ever went free. Witcher 3 never went free.
Witcher-
It got
it did.
reduced. No, it
Didn't
got
it?
reduced a lot. You can buy it for like $20.
Well, The Witcher was hyped with a bunch of shows and shit, so it's okay.
But still,
But
like,
that was actually a good game
I feel like
compared to
certain
this.
companies you're not giving you that for free.
Yeah.
You're not. I don't think CD Projekt Red is giving out.
I'll
this for
wait
free.
till it's $5 then.
I don't think it'll be $5. Maybe you can get it on Game Pass in like a year
Yeah.
on your PC,
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
and then play it well.
yeah,
Right.
it's just like I don't know. Like the cultural insensitivity that you just told
It's
me
not even
just doesn't fit with
insensitive.
it.
I don't think it just doesn't make sense.
It
I don't
just
think
wasn't
Well, that's what I'm saying.
caretaken.
If it doesn't make sense, then I should
don't-
feel something about it. Because if it doesn't make sense to the story of the game, or they're not telling you why it doesn't make sense, then it's just garbage, like hot
Yeah.
garbage. Like why
and,
add
and
it
to
in
be
there?
fair, I haven't gotten to the romance sections of the game, but I've seen the clips of it and I understand like, I have to have this variation, and then that's it. Like it's like you need to have this voice with this body. Doesn't matter what genitalia, this voice, this body. So I could be a woman body with a woman voice, but have the largest dick, and I would
makes
be
no
able to have
difference.
sex with the lesbian woman, which doesn't make sense to me.
And if they're
I don't know if it's insensitive or it's just it doesn't make like
Well, they don't help you make it make sense.
right,
yeah it doesn't make sense in the sense that it's like why are you giving me the customization options in something that doesn't matter when you could give me something much more like while
Yeah.
it's not much more by saying hey I would like to have 2 other voice options it does make a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I'm a female, if I'm playing as a female and I have a female masculine voice, that's a completely different thing than me being a female and my voice sounding straight like a masculine guy.
yeah.
There's a difference in that sense. And like there are females that straight up have like masculine men voices that sound like that and you can choose that. But like give us the option of the in-betweens. It's not black and white. You need to give us the gray in between. And you didn't, and you gave us dick sizes
That makes no sense.
and uncircumcised, circumcised, and vagina.
That's why this game goes from shock value to shock value. There's no TLC connecting all the dots.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of wild shit.
See, I think I'm definitely gonna be waiting for a long time.
Like
now.
you
should.
you start the game,
Like-
you make your person, what's the very first location? What do you like when you first start? What's happening?
I have no idea.
It's so
There's too much
convoluted.
bullshit.
It's just thing after thing to where it's like anywhere could be the beginning.
Yeah.
So
I
you-
know that
You end up in that bar.
you're in the bar at least.
All right, you're in the bar. Can you talk to the bartender? in the-
Yeah, you fix your nose.
yeah.
You're looking in the mirror after you complete your character and you like set your nose, but you can choose to take a drink before you set your nose or you can drink the drink
Choice.
after. I only know that because I chose the wrong voice by accident because I wanted to have the masculine voice, but I accidentally chose the female voice, so I had to go back and redo my whole
Redo
character.
your whole character.
So that sucked ass. But whatever. My biggest complaint of the game is how not that's not a word, unintuitive it is. Like, it's not intuitive at all when it comes to your skill trees. Like, they don't tell, everything else tells you what to do. Like, it's like, hey, this is how you shoot guns. Oh, if you shoot a human NPC, the police are going to come up, which is another bullshit issue.
Those cops, man.
Those cops are bad, and we'll talk about that in a second. But, like, I'm literally, I don't have a car because at a certain mission, you lose your car for a specific reason. And literally, the only thing that I can do is pull out my handgun on the street, look dead in the eyes of someone who's driving their car, and blow their brains out to get their car. When I do that, I kill a human and the police show up. I've done something illegal. So they, instead of just randomly, like, just being like police and they come to the area with their cars, or like they come running out of somewhere, they just appear. Like, they go from opacity 0 in Photoshop to opacity 100. And they're there, and then they lob a grenade at you in the person's car that you're stealing, which you can then just move like 4 inches, and then it doesn't do shit to you. You can even hit the cop if you want and then drive away. And then your cop, like, the star rating goes away almost instantly. So then I finally realized how to level up my strength, which I didn't know that you had to go before you go into the main skill tree, like of each separate area, you can level that up. So I level up my strength, I'm like, cool, so now I can just rip people out of the car. I don't have to murder them. That feels a little bit better. I'm not that bad of a person. So I ripped the person out of the car to steal their car. I don't get a cop star at all. I just did something illegal. I literally just did Grand Theft Auto.
Cops didn't see you.
But because they don't exist.
Because in Grand Theft Auto, you can do that. As long as there's no cop around, you won't get.
But like, if I don't know, man.
Well, that's the thing. That's
And
what
they're just
he's
not
saying.
there.
Yeah, it's just there's no.
And then when they are there, if you get too fucking close to them, if you just like walk up to them for like an inch too close, they just pull their gun on you and then just murder you.
And this is where my story comes in.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So you're coming down out of your apartment to go meet Jackie at the bottom of your apartment complex. And there's these cops behind this. It's the future, so it's this virtual barricade.
Yeah, like the police tape. But
Yeah,
like,
but it's like just
VR.
Yeah, right. So if you get close to it, they'll warn you like, "Hey, back up." And if you stay linger around, they'll warn you again, like to grab like their weapons, and like other cops get alerted. If you back up for a while, it'll go back down. Your alert will go back down. So I was like, okay, well then I won't go in there. So say this can stops like between the computer right here and this can.
About
is-
2 inches
Yeah, for you listeners, I'm
for
sorry.
the audio amigos.
Hold a ruler. Like say a 1 foot ruler is the barricade.
Okay.
I went on the side of there was an alley next to the barricade. So
With like a fence, so you can like peek through.
It was separated. It wasn't part of their little barricade.
Right.
I just went into the alley next to it, which was here. So Nico, imagine this all closed off.
Right.
The cops are in here,
Right.
and this is all closed off. There's a separate alley. I went down this alley, which technically, if my character is here, I'm further than where the barricade cuts off. But I'm not within the barricade. I got here. They still all was like, there he is. And they just started shooting the shit out of me. I was like, I'm not even in the thing. What are you talking about?
And then you fight back. Say like you want to fight back against the police, like fuck it. I'm going to fight back against them. You shoot like 2, you immediately get like 3 stars.
Oh,
Instead of going to 2 stars, you go straight to 3. And then you get like drones on you. And you're like, fuck. So
That is what I had no idea. So I tried to, because it gives you tips, because this is the beginning of the game. So it's like, if you run and hide, your level will go down. Which is also bullshit. But
Yeah.
because I forgot to say this, before I just immediately just ran and just hid behind something, I went back to my apartment and I just stayed in there for a while,
And
thinking
then
it would be all
away.
good. And when I came out, you remember when you come out of your apartment, those cops are next door banging on that door?
Yeah, that's the story I actually want to talk about
I
too.
walked out and they looked and they just start grabbing their guns. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I ran downstairs and I hid and I'm hiding behind this little like food cart thing and it's quiet. There's nothing. The next thing you know, I just see this light shine on you. Look up and it's a drone. And then these cops come out of nowhere. Like, there he is. And they come from the other side of the car and just start shooting me.
They
I'm
just spawn.
I'm like, they weren't there. They just spawned these cops.
Yeah, their AI system is hot garbage.
And then what
it's
you do
worse
is
than
you
what
shoot
I
the
handed
drones.
in for my final. Damn.
Yeah, man. But here's the thing. So you're like, fuck, now I got to shoot these drones, right? I got to shoot these drones and get out of here. You shoot the drones, then you get 4 stars. Now you're fucked. You're just straight up fucked. I don't know if you've gotten to 4 stars yet.
No, I haven't gotten.
So what happens is, I don't know I think they're called net runners in the game. I haven't gotten to a point where it actually matters what they are, but they're pretty much like, I guess, bounty hunters when it comes to police. And this dude just comes like teleporting at you like instant transmission style Goku, but like every other second, Dragon Ball Z style, and then just comes straight up to you. You could have full fucking health and just bop one time with his gun. I don't know what the fuck his gun is. Bop, you're dead.
His
Reboot.
gun makes that noise too. Bop.
That's
It
it.
shoots you.
It might as well fucking do that noise because I don't care because I'm already screaming in rage because that guy killed me. So there's that. And then speaking of those 2 fucking cops outside of your apartment, that fucking story, it's a side mission, and we're gonna spoil this side mission because I told Ant already I'm gonna spoil the side mission.
That's fine. Because I was wondering what to do there because I couldn't interact.
So-
I guess you have to go do something else and go
Yeah.
back and interact with
So
them.
that's another thing, you can skip time and like come back to certain places and like just new events happen, which is stupid.
That's pretty stupid.
Side part. So you fucking talk to these 2 cops and they're like, "Hey, do you know Barry?" And you're as V, you're just like, I mean, I guess I talked to him once or twice in the time that I've lived here because he's my neighbor. They're like, okay, well, can you go talk to him because he's a former cop and he left the force, and we're trying to talk to him because he's been acting weird. And that's the dude saying it. And then there's a female cop. She's like, "Stop being a dick, Hernandez. Like, he's really sad right now because his friend died." And like, you're like, what the fuck?
You do great voices.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. So then she's like, "Can you just check on him?" And you're like, "Yeah, I guess." Or you could say no and say "fuck you" and just walk away, which is funny. So I say sure. So I go talk to this guy.
Wait, I know it's all about choice. If you say no, fuck you, can you immediately come right back and do the whole dialogue
yeah,
again?
yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah, you can do it again because technically the mission isn't closed.
All right, I got you.
That can't happen though. So you go up and you talk to him, and he's like, "Yeah, like I'm really depressed right now. I had to leave the force because I had to see some things that were fucked up. Like this guy that was a corpo like grabbed a kid and blew his brains out in front of me, and then like the corpo got off because like he was high up and like he was rich and shit, and then they just wrote on the report that the kid blew his own brains out, and I was like, oh, this is really dark. Cool. You have a right to be depressed, NPC character named Barry. And then he's like, "Thanks for talking to me, man. I appreciate it." And I leave this guy's apartment. And then it gives me 2 options. Talk to the cops or go find out what his friend, like what his niche was. That's what it says in like the quest. And that's an optional part. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll just go talk to the cops, Fuck, like, I'm not going to go do some optional bullshit that doesn't matter. So the game autosaves, which is great, because if not, then I would have been really sad. So I skip some time, I talk to the cops, and I'm like, yeah, like, you were kind of being a dick to him, Hernandez, about, like, his friend dying. He doesn't really have anyone to talk to. And then Hernandez is like, really? He's just being a little pussy bitch. Like, fuck that guy. You just got to get over it. And then the girl's like, come on, Hernandez, you're being a bitch. Don't
So
be like
far,
that.
my favorite character in
Oh,
this game
man.
is that
Yeah.
girl's
It's that
voice.
girl.
She's like,
voice, yeah.
Hernandez, stop it. And then he's just like, no, fuck it. And then it says, wait a bit. Like, wait a couple hours and go try to talk to Barry again. And I'm like, okay, this is a really simple quest for me to get some money. No problem.
Right.
Because I got money from her after I went to talk to him. I got like $600. Not much. 600 eddies, that is, which is the money, which is stupid. I don't know why it's called that. Anyway,
Dollars went extinct in 2053.
so I skipped 3 hours
Manually.
manually in like the
Time
pause
skipping.
menu and the
Yeah.
time skip.
I always see it there, but I'm like, I don't need to do
You
this
need
yet.
it for certain quests. Like you'll need to skip. And then I skip, and all I hear is the Hernandez guy. Oh no, Barry, why'd you do it, man? Oh no! And he's crying on the ground next to the guy's apartment, and there's blood everywhere.
Oh, well.
Dude killed himself.
Right.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, what? And then it says mission failed. And I'm like, no, why?
How is that on you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, first of all, I got the money already. The mission's over. I don't have to do shit.
You failed.
So then I
did
feel
you
like a-
fail because you didn't go do the other option?
Exactly.
To see his friend?
So I felt like a piece of shit. So I'm like, fuck it. I go back to before I skip time. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Fuck. I can't deal with this NPCs
Back to the future
on my
cyberpunk.
fucking conscience.
Back to the future 2077.
So I fucking drive to the opposite side of the fucking map to see what his friend Andrew's niche is. And there's just like this like memorial that like Avengers Endgame style, but with like VR on it. And I finally find the thing after like 10 minutes of looking. It's just like this blue text on the wall. And it's from Barry, who's like writing a memorial to his friend Andrew, who's a fucking tortoise.
Like turtle tortoise?
Yes. His friend is a tortoise. And his friend that is a tortoise is the only person he feels okay with telling how he feels. Because he just feels like everyone else treats him like shit and they would make fun of
Barry
him.
shot himself over the tortoise?
Yeah. So then what I do is I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I finish the optional task. And I'm like...
Did it say mission
Well,
complete?
then it says go back and talk to the cops. Because that was just an optional. The main task is always talk to the cops. So I go back and I talk to the cops. I'm like, hey, Hernandez, you're a dickhead. This guy is so fucking depressed and sad that he's talking to a tortoise and telling the tortoise his problems because you're such an asshole to him. And then Hernandez is like, wow, man, I didn't know he was that bad.
Oh, now he understands.
Exactly. I didn't know, like, since he was talking to an animal, that's why he was so sad. Like, I didn't know that was the way it was. And then the chick's like, see, Hernandez, see, you're being mean. And then I'm like, this is a joke. This is a fucking joke that this is a fucking side mission that I'm doing right now. And then it says, skip another couple hours. Oh, no, it actually doesn't. Hernandez
not
just, like,
over yet?
Hernandez wallows over to the apartment 'cause it's right there. And he knocks on the door. He's like, hey, Barry, come on, man. Like, I heard about, like, what happened with the kid.
I heard about the turtle thing.
Well, he didn't say that, which was funny to me. He's like, I heard about what happened with the kid, and the kid got shot. It's really fucked up, man. Can we just talk? Like, let's just talk through this. Let's see how, like we feel. Like, I've had shit happen to me, too. And then he opens the door, and he's like, yeah, get the fuck in. And then I get a call on the phone, and the chick's like, here's an extra $300.
And that's it.
And that's it. And I was like, this is what they put into Cyberpunk. It's 2077. A depressed man talking to a tortoise. Small penises, big penises, circumcised and uncircumcised, and a vagina if you'd like.
Teleporting cops.
Teleporting cops.
And a horrible AI system.
Horrible AI. The worst. One last story. So I was doing a side mission in which I was fighting the gang, the Tiger Claws. And I had to, like, take this body that was pretty much knocked out up to a car, and I had to sneak past them all while doing this. So, needless to say, since the sneaking system sucks ass, it didn't happen, so I had to fight all the Tiger Claws. So I'm at, like, this top area, and they're down at this beach, right? And I get up the stairs with the body, so I put the body to the side. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll shoot these motherfuckers down here, because they're not coming up the stairs, because I guess they're not programmed to come up the stairs. So I'll kill all these motherfuckers shooting down from the stairs, and I'll go loot their bodies. I'll get some free guns. I'll sell that for some eddies. Fucking get a nice sick ride, you know, like some good shit. Right as I'm like, I take aim with my AR. I'm like, right down the sight. I'm looking down the sight, about to shoot. And I hold R2. Right as I hold R2, an AI pedestrian woman comes running up the stairs like, oh my God, there's guns.
And you shot her.
And I shot her point blank in her fucking mouth, dude. Right in her fucking mouth. And right as I do that, and I'm like, shit.
The
And then
cops.
I turn around, and there's 4 cops.
Oh, yeah, it's over.
That were not there before.
Of course.
They just magically spawn, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So then I just pull out my katana. I walk up to the body that I was like trying to like take, and I just fucking slice his head off, and it failed
Like,
the mission.
fuck it.
And then I load my autosave, and I'm like, fuck this bullshit. This is fucking bullshit.
She just ran up out of nowhere. That was a setup.
Man.
And that's on top of the 14 crashes that I had. That's my experience with this game. Am I having fun? Yes.
Thank you. That was what I was going to finish this up with. Of all that shit, under all that, there's a fun game in there.
Yeah. It's still fun, and that's the shitty part. It's so shitty.
Because, like, if it wasn't for the crashes and the glitches and the rushed game, they'd have a dope game on their hands.
There's so much to do, too. I've had, like, some cool, like, Easter eggs happen with, like, some AI thing that's, like, a side quest, which I won't spoil because it's actually just a really good side quest, and I want you to play it.
Yeah.
And, like, experience it, but, like, it was, like, really cool, and it went back to, like, one of my old games that I love. And then it's just a fun time. It's just fun. I got to have sex in a video game for 100 eddies with both a male and a female. I had to test both for science.
For science.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will admit, when you have sex with the guy play toy, he actually is still in the room.
He holds you afterwards.
Well, like you like wake up in bed in like the room, and when you do it with the woman, she's just gone. When you're done, like you just wake up and she's not there. When you do it with the guy, he's like buttoning up his shirt and he like waves to you goodbye as he leaves the room. And I'm like, what the fuck? Can I have some courtesy? That guy is so nice.
Nah, men don't get shit.
He's so nice.
Because
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give him my next $100. I'll just like
In
go
real
on my
life.
phone. No, I'll just go on my phone, and I'll just like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? You're a nice guy. You deserve my eddies that I got from depressed Barry
probably
and his tortoise.
clutched your chest like, oh, this is what that
Yeah,
feels like
right,
on this
that's-
side
yeah.
of it.
But yeah,
he really cares. He really likes me.
no, he doesn't. I'm only worth 100 eddies.
But he treated you with respect.
Yeah, he actually said goodbye to me as opposed to the woman who was like,
He didn't
"Fuck
treat you like a piece of meat.
I was, I wasn't a piece of meat to him. I was at least a person. No, he just said, you know, he's just buttoning up his like, it was like a see-through shirt too. I think it was like one of those like netted shirts. He's like buttoning up. I'm like, what are you doing here? Like that's not doing anything.
No, that's not cool shit. You want to be mad at flossing.
It's 2077, my dude.
What does that fucking mean?
What are you? There's
should
men
have-
walking down the street wrapped in bandages, bleeding out of
should
both
have a- you
eyes, and
should
they're just like,
have-
"What's up, my brother?"
You should have a digital shirt at that point, like a futuristic, better than
That would
cotton
be cool.
shirt.
But guess what? They don't have that either.
Does 2077 just mean your clothes are see-through? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know, man. You've also just found like absorbent amounts of dildos just on the ground. that
Yo,
you've
there's
just been
dildos
picking up.
dude.
everywhere.
And
Like,
they're
every-
spiked too. Like
Who's using that?
they have like spikes on them.
Women, respect
Jesus.
yourselves.
And
Jesus.
then like for the funny part to me is like I saw those. I think I sent you a picture of them, and then like you started picking them up. I haven't seen a single dildo on the ground since.
I just want to reiterate that we're talking about Cyberpunk
Yeah.
27. But this isn't like a real life thing we did.
and just
the
picking
thing
up
is-
dildos in the street.
Well, the worst part about it is like you can't do anything with them. They're literally in your inventory as junk. And you
Yeah.
know what you can do with the junk? You can sell it for $3.
Sell your junk. Yeah.
You sell the junk for $3, so you can technically just pick up a bunch of dildos. It's like recycling. You pick up a bunch of dildos and you go recycle it, and you get your $3 for recycling your dildos.
They should have just made the currency dildos. I sold it for 300
Honestly,
dildos.
though, like,
100 dildos.
as of this point, might as well. Dude, it's such a fucking.
God.
It's
Dildos and currency.
the one thing I don't like is how it makes you think your choices matter. Except for that one mission with Barry, where if you just choose not to go see his tortoise, then he fucking murders himself. But like, it doesn't matter what you choose.
Makes you think how many other missions are like that.
Yeah, like if anything, all it does is it makes it so like something bad happens in the mission or something. It takes you down a different path. It doesn't
Right.
like really fucking matter. Like it's still going to the same end game. I think there's multiple endings. I could be wrong. There could be a true ending or whatever, but like I don't know where
There's
this
multiple
goes.
endings.
Like
And they say the stuff you do and some of the side quests you do and how much you do
how much you fuck to play
determines the ending.
toys.
Yeah,
Joy
you know.
toys rather. I'll just give all my. I have like 30,000 eddies right now from just. I just been doing side quests.
Mm-hmm.
I've only done like 20% of the first set of missions, 3% and 3%.
What act are you on?
I didn't know that was a thing.
I think there's acts in the game.
There might be, and I just have played so much of it that I don't remember because I've just done side quests and had my game crash. But I don't know, man. There's too much in the game. Like, I did like one event that happened. I went to go talk to at the bar that you spawn in. That's where Jackie's mom is. Like she owns the bar. I went to go talk to her for something, and like there was a like drunk corpo at like one of the tables, and a bunch of the I forget what gang it is was like bothering him, like telling him to get out of the booth, and the bartender was like, "Yo, leave him alone." And then like I had the opportunity to say something and be like, "Yo, yeah, leave him the fuck alone, dude." And if I got in front of this guy's face and I'm like, "Yo, Mama Wells wouldn't like you being like this. I'm pretty sure she'd pull you out back and put a 12 gauge straight to your head. You didn't fuck off." And then like his buddy's like, "Yeah, let's get out of here, man. Let's get out of here." And then the corpo's like, "Thanks, man. You didn't have to do it," and just gives me like $1,200. I'm like, I didn't have to do that, but I just got $1,200, and then I get a free drink at the bar as well. I'm like, okay, cool, fuck it.
That game had me paranoid at certain parts when you like can take the drinks, because it lets you know it's gonna reduce
Yeah.
like this and reduce that. And I'm like,
But it only reduces it for like 30 seconds. So like if you stay in the cutscene and don't answer the question, like it's not one of the time ones, it just wears off and you're like, okay, cool, I'm ready to go if shit happens. Like it's like, oh cool, I took a shot and now my screen's like, it looks like when you eat a puffer fish in Minecraft and it gets like for like 3 seconds, and then you're just like sitting there like, yeah, I'm drunk. Okay, I'm good now.
there was some
Who am I
part,
fighting?
some gunfight I was in, but before you go infiltrate wherever or go into where these guys are, you could take a drink. And I'm like, well, not now.
Yeah,
like, I'm
why
gonna
would you?
need. Yeah, like I need my. It was between that and one of the health ones. I was like, well, if I'm about to walk into no, I'm gonna
Might
take
as well do the health, yeah.
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 Jeez.
I will admit, it is a fun game, but
Just make it more playable.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the moral to the story is.
There's
Don't
no
buy
moral.
the game right now. If you own anything less than a very good PC or one of the next gen consoles, do not buy the game. Go watch any of the videos of like what they look like on PS4 and Xbox One, and you'll immediately not want it. Ant pulled up the Digital Foundry videos. Those are good ones to watch. Just make an actual educated decision based on like what the game is, because right now it is hot garbage for those systems, and that's what they are supposed to be for, which is the
Right.
sad part.
Well, I'm listening to y'all. I'm
Yes.
gonna fucking wait.
I mean, if anything, you could buy it for PC.
Nah.
Like, I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to actually play the game, you could actually play it on PC and have a good time, because you have a good PC.
Well, I know.
And
I
like,
just
you wouldn't have these issues.
Right,
You would have
but-
maybe one or two bugs. So I would think that you would have a better time than Ant and I would.
yeah.
In fairness.
The thing is like, how can I say it? Like, I guess morally, I just don't want to play it now until it's fixed. Because one, I want to give chance to the devs to prove themselves to do a good game. One, not that it's not a good game, because you guys just said it's a fun game.
It's fun. It's just not.
But I just want to experience what they wanted to put out, for sure.
I respect that.
So so it's like, so for me, it's like, City, I'll give you time for you guys to perfect this game before I go into it and want to actually get my own experiences from it. Because right now, I don't feel like I want to spend the time experiencing what you guys are experiencing. Yes, you guys are having fun within your own rights with the game. But I am one of those people who, like, if I have too many issues with a game, I will definitely drop it until it gets better and then be like, okay, now I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
I've done that with many games before. I did it with Smite. I did it with Heroes of the Storm. I did it with War of the Warcraft. And I was playing that game for almost 7.5 years straight. And I literally would just drop it the moment that I just didn't like something that they did. And knowing that, like what Ant showed, knowing the fact that they didn't 100% were truthful with what they were telling us, that's even, like, I feel that's even more disrespect to the devs
you don't want to give money
and to the
that.
player. Like, I don't want to give money to that. Like, if you're going to lie to me, you're going to put out a game that's half-assed, when in reality you gave us this notion of this game was going to be grandiose. Give us that.
Well, Chris was
So-
right when they delayed it again to December, and you were like, you automatically was like, something's fucked.
Something's fucked,
It's
yeah.
over. Like,
And you knew
because
it,
then
yeah.
you said, if they do it again, I'm not
Dude,
getting
I
it.
literally said on the podcast, and both I said this to like my buddies at Haptic as well. I was like, "What if the game fucking sucks?"
Yeah,
I said that, and they were like, "It can't." And I'm like, "But what if it does?"
it does. Yeah,
And it fucking sucks right now.
yeah.
It will get better with time, but right now it fucking sucks. And this was supposed to be like game of the year material, game of the
Yeah.
fucking century almost, with the way
Yeah.
they were fucking pitching it.
They had to spend millions
spent-
and millions and millions on
advertisement,
marketing.
yeah.
This game costs so much
Dude.
outside of the development, not
amount-
let
On
alone the
advertisement
development.
alone, like having all those Cyber Nights. How many Cyber Nights of those did they have?
All those influencers and game
Influencers and game
personalities.
yeah.
like, it's
There's
a
actually a
ton.
game personality in the game too.
Yeah.
That guy that's like screaming at you on the side of the road about your eye implants.
Oh no, I didn't think that's what you were talking about. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
that
know, Alana Pierce is in there too.
She's in it, and there's a
Wow.
couple others, but like that guy's actually like a streamer, and like he's like been a part of it since the start. But he's like screaming at you like, "They're watching from your eye implants," and then you're like, "What do you want me to just gouge my fucking eyes out?" Like if anything that you were saying was true, then I'd be like in jail right now because they would see all the shit that I've done. All the shit from that fucking time skip that should have been a playable thing.
But yeah, so I think
It's just like it's a big world. There's things to do. There's a bunch of side missions. It's a
cool
fun
cars.
game under the carnage. Like under all the shit that doesn't work. It's a good game in there.
Yeah. And I'll wait till that game comes out to the front. Like, once that game comes out to the forefront, then I'll give the devs a chance of, like, all right, now I'm in here to be able to
Redeem
enjoy
yourselves.
what you guys wanted to put out originally.
It'll be next year when they put out the official next gen version of it.
I know. That's why I'm just gonna wait. I was like, I might not still, even with that release, I might still not get it for the gen. Just knowing the fact that they were strong from the beginning,
even when they
in
put
PC,
it out,
but
I think even when the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 official versions come out, I guarantee you the best place to play is still gonna be
PC. Yeah. That's why I'm probably just gonna wait, but I'm gonna wait till then. Like right now, I have too many games. Like Chris mentioned, he's still giving me shit about Ghost, and I'm halfway through The Last of Us. I have more than enough games.
You're not halfway through The Last of Us.
All right, maybe I'm not halfway through the.
You
All
are
right,
like
so I'm not halfway.
1/6 of the way.
All right. So that means that I have a lot more to come, and I have a whole month free, and I'm not gonna spend it with 14 crashes once every however many hours.
I'm trying to
1
hurry and
hour,
beat The Last
15
of
minutes
Us.
exactly.
I'm trying to hurry and beat The Last of Us so I can get back to this crashy bug-filled game.
Yeah, no. Well,
The only reason that I'm saying that it's good to buy it now, if you want it, like say you finish Last of Us 2 and you finish Ghosts and you're done with them, right? And you want to buy this game, it makes sense to buy it, at least on PC, from the point of view that there's 3 different stories that you can play.
Yeah.
So by the time that the next gen update comes out, say like you get a PS5 and you want to switch to PS5 and spend another $60 on it, you have 2 other games to play because it's two completely
different stories.
stories.
Okay.
And like they're huge fucking stories with all the side quests along the way. You could straight up just play the Street Kid if you wanted to, or the Country Boy or the Corpo on your PC, and then switch over to PS5, or if you wanted to just stay on PC and keep playing it through there.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where it's like the replayability, it's 100% there. I feel like the side quests are gonna kind of get like
a little
dull over time because like I don't know if maybe if you're a corpo you can do it differently, but we'll see.
They say the side quests are the highlight from everything I'm hearing.
Except for Barry.
He shot himself.
Barry and his tortoise Andrew. Fucking. I can't believe that that's one of the side. That was the first side quest I did too.
Really?
Yeah, because I was just like focused mainly on story, and I was like, I just want to play story. I don't care about the side quests because of how crashy it is. And then I played that, and I was like, okay, maybe I play side quests because that was like relatively insane.
They said compared to the side quests, they said the main story is kind of like whatever.
It seems whatever from where I'm at right now, and I'm just having more. Like I'm at the point where Johnny is in my head, Johnny Silverhand, the Keanu character, and I'm having more fun doing the side quests and then hearing his banter about me doing the side quests or what I should do in the side quests. And like him talking to me while doing at least one of them where you have 3 options to do something. Like you have an option to destroy something, to completely reboot something, or do something very drastic. He convinced me to do the drastic thing just with his voice lines, and I was like, okay. That's cool to me, like that part of the side quest, as opposed to the main where it's just like, gotta get it out of me, gotta get that Johnny out of my head, which is stupid, but whatever.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah,
Cyberpunk is Cyberjunk.
There you go. That's the headline.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk is in a cyberfunk.
And it's so
So
don't
we had
be a
to give-
cyberpunk with Cyberjunk.
And on this podcast, we had the cyber dunk on them.
on them.
I did have sex with that cyberhunk though.
All
All
right,
Yeah,
right.
there you go. I had to think something.
God damn.
Chris. Who treated you like
I had to do it for science, and
for
yeah,
science?
I
huh?
needed to see if.
Did you have on a lab coat?
Huh?
Did you have on a lab
Actually, yeah, I did.
Oh god.
Yeah, I got
Plus
a
for
lab coat
science.
from one of the fucking doctors that had,
That's how
had
you
a
know-
better armor.
coat? That's how you know something's for science.
But yeah, with that
Yep.
terrible ending, Jesus.
Yeah, we gave you a nice, good cyber chunk.
We want to
Of
thank
this
you guys.
podcast.
Thank you for listening. This is our 10th episode. We finally hit double digits. Thank you for watching the live stream. If you're there, you know who you are. We know who you
Yes.
are, but it's late. We are all tired. Go check out our YouTube channel. It has the full entire live stream there. Let us know what bits you want us to clip up and make a little bit of jokes out of, so it's a little bit more digestible. And then also we might be having some YouTube videos coming out next week, most likely after next week's podcast. So keep an eye out for that.
Please.
It might be holiday themed, and we'll see what that brings. We'll be filming that right before we actually record the next week's podcast. So we'll probably talk about it in that podcast. So
And,
if you want a sneak peek, check out next week, episode 11.
Sneak a peek. A sneak.
In the meantime, follow us on all of our socials. Save the letter B, the number 4, quitting.
What's the question of the episode?
The question of the episode?
Yeah.
That's a good
Question.
Yeah.
So I'll leave you with 2 questions. One, I'm going to steal a question from our last episode. What is your gaming snack? 'Cause we didn't ask that at the end of the episode.
Yeah, we didn't.
So, and it was a great question that we got.
Are y'all gunking up y'all's controllers like Chris did?
Shut the fuck up.
Or use a dainty
It
towel
was like a
I
one-time
do.
thing. It was just I wasn't concerned about it.
Listen.
It wasn't that I was doing it all the time. It was that I wasn't concerned with getting the orange controller.
Nobody forgets.
All right, let's
Yeah, I
add
know.
let's add a 2-parter with that.
Maybe
snacks.
that's not the question. Anyway, and then second question, will you be buying Cyberpunk after our great review of it? Will you be waiting like Nico, or do you have a PC that you can actually play the game and like get the greatest experience of it with? If you do, let us know what you think of the game. Let us know which route you chose, I guess. We both chose the Street Kid. Join us on our journey.
Join
As
us
a
on our
street
journey.
Journey.
I'm joining.
I'm from Jersey now. And then also shoot us a question for next week's episode. Getting closer to the holidays. Maybe you got is there Christmas video games? Is there like a Jingle All the Way video game or something like that?
There's Home Alone video
There's
games.
Home Alone video
That
games
movie
coming out.
sucks.
There's Grinch video games.
Yeah.
Okay,
Home Alone don't suck.
Home Alone's boring.
It's my childhood right there.
Anyway, yeah, shoot us an email at saybeforequitting@gmail.com. That's fully spelled out. Or you can even, we're going to start this now, do it on Twitter at Say Before Quitting. We already went over that tag, but use the hashtag AskSB4QPod, and we can find
Yeah.
it with that hashtag. And we'll start that up. Maybe that's a little bit easier for y'all because, we're all confusing and such with our email and our socials. So we'll do that instead.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out.
You can throw us a question in Instagram the same way.
Same thing too.
Yep. Follow us on the IG.
All right.
All right, fellas.
Anyone else have anything to close the episode with besides selfish plugs? Gamer Towel's coming soon, and we'll listen back to the whatever the hell we're calling y'all, because we completely
Completely forgot.
We had too much Cyberpunk on our brain.
Yeah, we were hacked by Cyberpunk. See, it's keeping in the theme. But one thing I will say is after 1 hour and 15 minutes, make sure that
Before
you
your
save.
game freezes.
Before your game freezes, crashes your PlayStation after 18 hours of gameplay, make sure that you save before quitting.
Say before quitting.
Say before quitting.
God damn, I hate that game.
No, he had a nice tortoise you spoke to.
Yeah, he should have killed himself.